Alright, we back, no? Marker. So for those of you who missed the start yesterday, this is a return to a fortress that, or a world that I kind of stopped playing a little over a year ago. Or roughly a year ago. We've returned to a fortress called, well, an area near Godly Tombs. Now, Godly Tombs is my most viewed video ever. It's called I Played the Worst Map in Dwarf Fortress History. And due to issues in the current version of Dwarf Fort, which was kind of expected due to the big raw rewrite, I decided that because, one, it's been almost exactly a year as of tomorrow since I uploaded that video, and two, because the game's changed quite a bit, I wanted to return to that map and see what it's like now. So we've done that. We have made a new embark on that old map, which is, in my opinion, one of the weirdest, hardest to play maps I've ever played in Dwarf Fortress. Now, I had a pinned message in the YouTube chat yesterday, but I will repin it today, which is the goal message that you can get in Twitch chat by typing in !goal. And essentially what this is it's a link to the video, and also it's kind of a very brief overview of what the hell this map is. In simple terms, if you go to the surface, you're probably going to die. There's goo everywhere that zombifies you instantly and turns you into a monster that isn't a dwarf anymore. So the surface is virtually uninhabitable. The map is very thin, so we don't have a lot of space to build. It's only about 40 layers deep total. The third thing is there is 4 titans on the surface that just live there, and most of them are zombified now, so they're harder to kill. And there's no metal on the map. Yeah, that's the fort. And the goal for the last one was to dig too deeply and greedily, and I think that's the goal this time as well. But also to see if surviving or theoretically taking over the surface is more plausible at all. That's kind of the hope. So, my question to you, chat, is, are you ready for us to dive back in? Naming is going to be very restricted, purely because there's currently 6 dwarves in the fort. Well, there was 7. I think the naming ability is open. It should be. Let me just double check. Someone may have already redeemed it and I didn't notice, but... Was this the same world where you only had 7 dwarves? I don't know what that means. You're going to have to elaborate on that more. I've never had a fort where I've only ever had 7 dwarves. Yes, it is enabled. Cool. So you can name stuff, but do keep in mind there is only 1 dwarf. I've never done a fort that only ever had 7 dwarves. We lost. It died. Platonic cave dweller. The VOD went up this morning if you want to go look at the VOD channel. Or yesterday, maybe? One of the two. With crossbows being better now, I think it's more feasible now. What, surviving the surface? Not with no metal, but we'll see. You start with 200 dwarves? I mean, you could do that if you change the world gen settings. And any Goblin Knight is contaminated and not available? We don't know. Well, first the Goblin Knight would need to make it into the fortress, which is also very unlikely. So, yeah. It's a mess. That's it. We would need to do some pretty heavy decontaminations if there was Goblin Knight. Probably, like, throw all of it into lava and burn off everything that's in it. Or water, at the very least. So, we are going to continue our return to the momentous domain. I have played a number of forts here. But, right before I dive in, there's one final thing I gotta say. This is a crowdfunded channel. So if you are watching, just know that I'm not gonna throw, trying to think, what's the last ad I saw on a stream? I'm not going to be advertising Manscaped at you. But I will tell you, if you want to support this stream, do consider throwing a tip into the tip jar on the YouTube side of things with a super chat. Or if you're on Twitch, think about the fact that Prime subs exist. Maybe remember me when if you happen to have one of those. Perhaps consider subscribing to the channel if that's possible and within your budget, because that is how I pay bills and that's what keeps this channel running. Ads are great to a point, but they don't pay the bills. And YouTube folks, please leave a like on the stream because only approximately half of you have done so. We've named this fortress Strangetomb because it's right next to the godly tombs. And Strangetomb is already very strange. It's pretty good, Fulcrum. How are you? Rolf as well, hello. It's good to see you. Zachary, thanks for continuing that gift sub. Appreciate you. If you refresh, you'll get a notification, probably, Shinda-kun. This is more just, like, settled too greedily, Mr. Noobed. So, let's recap. There is a Titan that is infinitely strangling a yak cow, abominable smoke zombie. They've been doing this for a while now. That's all I got there. Thanks for the $10, Danny. Into the old tip jar. Appreciate you greatly, mate. You want to name the yak the Struggler? So this was a trading yak. It wasn't part of the fortress. It'll update its name when I unpause it. So let's unpause. Briefly. As for the combat log, it is literally just this. It is terrifying. But they're both dead and can't die of lack of oxygen. So the yak cow, the struggler, accepts favors without developing a sense of obligation, preferring to act as the current situation demands. He's generally unhindered by the thoughts of others concerning his actions and lives a slow-glowing and leisurely pace. He's also dying at a slow-going and leisurely pace. He is prone to hatreds, often develops negative feelings, and prefers that everyone lives harmoniously as possible. He's brave in the face of imminent danger, and generally is quite confident of her abilities when undertaking specific ventures. She often feels discouraged and tends to share her own experiences and thoughts with others. Naparox, thanks for the 8th month. Well, it says 8 on mine, but 7th resub, I suppose. Appreciate you, dude. I don't think that the yak is a willing party in this. I don't think the yak is a willing party in this. I don't think it's a kink. I think that the yak is just tolerating. Doesn't feel anything. Isn't aroused, so... What is a smoke zombie? So, Dwarf Fortress has this thing in it called evil weather. Evil weather is pretty rare. It doesn't happen very often, usually just in terrifying biomes. This is a terrifying biome. If you watch the first 10 minutes of this video, right there, it'll tell you why this map is so fucked up. There is no mods here. This is completely vanilla. And for some reason, I can't scroll up in my Twitch chat, so I can't read what Platonic was trying to write. I have to refresh Twitch chat to do so. Oh, I see. Okay. Not relevant. 5 beers deep? I think you mean 50. But anyway, what is a smoke zombie? So a smoke zombie is a dwarf or entity on the map that has touched the evil weather. They become a smoke zombie. They would be named something different in your world. They're called abominable smoke zombies here. I've seen them called gray husks. I've seen them called nightmare something or another's. And it just makes them go insane and attack literally everything that is around them. Sometimes they get aligned on a similar, like, faction, and then they don't kill each other, usually if they came from the same faction. So I actually have 2 in cages down here, this one and this one, which are Thing 1 and Dwarf Boyer. These two critters, also Danny Scar, if you want to name something because you threw $10 at me, let me know. They're abominable smoke zombies. So they will live forever. They will train skills. They're still technically alive, but I can't fix them, and they will murder everything that they see. And anything that they pierce the skin of, because they're covered in the smoke splatter, will get infected with the abominable smoke. It's just a descriptor. It's a descriptor just like the, the Grim Butchers or whatever the intelligent undeads are named. So, because dwarves have to enter the fort somehow, and they can't enter the fort directly because that would involve me allowing abominable smoke zombies in, I have this very long tunnel that goes over here, down to here, up to here, and then into the fort. Also, up here, down over to here, down to here, and into the fort. Also, over from here, up from here, down over here, and into the fort. I'm going to be making another one that goes down to here, doing the exact same thing, and another one that goes over to here, doing the exact same thing. And the reason I'm doing it like this is so that I can hopefully siphon some of the survivors into the fort after the fact. So that is kind of the main construction project here in this fortress. I will read through our 6 dwarves momentarily, and after I enable a gameplay option, which is always disabled, and I'm never quite sure why. Thanks for offering. Alrighty. Let's see, that's 17 over. And then let's just do this. Actually not quite. Let's just go over up here. Let's go along here. Because this is one of the next things I gotta dig out. I mean, it's not really a jail. This is a settlement. It's just a settlement in a very, very hostile environment. I mean, believe it or not, people are going to try and move here. We need to get them in somehow. So yesterday, it took us like maybe a dozen embarks to successfully settle here without everybody immediately dying. This is the population currently. We've got Arga Men Nom. We've got Snail, Hylam, Tapioc, and our expedition leader, who's the founder, as well as Bomrek. And they are engravers by trade, and they live here in this nightmare place. The fortress itself is very small. This is where we embarked. I immediately built a little wall around us. We couldn't go up onto the upper layer or we would get covered in abominable smoke. So, this is uninhabitable now. Down in here is, well, actually, I should probably just put a wall piece there. There's this, I'll do that right now before I forget. Just a brick, whatever brick. This is where we initially started. I then dug down this way, which then goes over to here, which does have an entryway. I needed one as soon as possible. But, that's right there, so it's very unlikely to be useful. Over here, we have a little trapdoor going down, which goes down to here. And then over here, I have a little stairway going down, which probably should have another trapdoor on it, which goes all the way down and all the way down into the caverns. Now, this map is very short, or very not deep, because 48 is surface, and it goes down to layer 13. So it's a very, very, very fucking shallow map. This was weird about it the last time we settled here as well. We've got a little bit of farming going on under here. I'm trying to get things like sealed off as best I can. I've got a door queued up for there. Cool. And then over here, we have these little stairs going down, which goes down to this, which goes down to what is soon to be a bedroom, which we are in the process of putting together. There's a lot of beds that need to be put away. I've got a couple of jobs that I'm pausing right now. And that's it. Oh, probably. I mean, it's very much fitting within plenty of fantasy tropes. That's for sure. Isn't this closed? There's a dwarf running along here to go construct something up there, and they're probably not going to make it there. I tried to dump them in water last time, and that is a possibility, but in order to dump something into water, Bruce, they need to pick it up. So I would need to dump water on the thing to clean it. If you're talking about, like, sanitizing items, I would need to put water on the thing to clean it. Because if a dwarf picks up the thing to put it in water, then they get infected. You're going to be taking inspiration, hopefully, from seeing what transpires. I mean, not right now, but you could also watch, like, the worst map in Dwarf Fortress history, because I've done this map before. Why not like a trapdoor? Because then I would need to go up to the surface to place a trapdoor, which requires going to the surface. Trust me, I did this already once. I've done a lot of thinking about this. I do have some methods. The one way that you can get items safely off of things is by catching it in a cage and then throwing that whole cage into lava and then just picking off the iron bits that are remaining. That is one of the few ways that's, like, consistent. Trust me, I've done a lot of thinking about this. I know it might sound like I'm just not dodging, but, like, just being like, yeah, nope, that won't work. Yeah, nope, that won't work, because I've been there. I've tried. Let's get these dwarves assigned to bedrooms, and then the next thing I'm going to need to do after getting these dwarves assigned to bedrooms is I'm going to need to get some sort of dining hall, tavern thing set up. And because I'm not expecting the population to be particularly large, I think most of the fortress is going to be split off from, like, right here. It's going to be very small, and we're going to try and keep it maybe in this screen. I think I'm going to hope for maybe 30, 40 dwarves, but I do see that as kind of unlikely. Up on the surface, most of the zombies appear to just be fighting. I mean, game's on pause now. There's immediately 2 different reindeers fighting, which are these two, and that titan fighting with that yak cow, who's now officially... Oops, I capitalized the T. The struggler. Mass Morass, hello, it's good to see you. Final should be up top still. If you want me to check in on any zombie at any point, do let me know. The fun thing that I did mention previously is that these zombies do train skills. So if they become legendary, oh boy! How do you run the name redeeming in this? Every 25 minutes it's up. You need 500 channel points to redeem it here on Twitch. And if I don't have a dwarf, or if you ask for something unreasonable, I might give you a table or something. Equally silly. They keep their armor. Yep, and their weapons. I mean, they're not technically dead. They're just mindless monsters. They just become unpersoned, basically. Because they're not technically dead when they become zombies. In this situation. They are just, like, reprogrammed entities, I guess. We here early? This fort started yesterday, but it's still very early days. I mean, I made it like a season and a half in. We spent almost 4 hours just resetting until it worked. So it was a very slow process initially. But no, my goal is to see how reasonable these dwarves can survive. Reasonably, these dwarves can survive in this fort. And try and drum up as many interesting events as possible. And then hope for the best and release the monsters. That is the actual, like, goal for this fort, basically. And by release the monsters, I do mean, like, go too deep. Because it's right here in the middle of the screen, Sandberg. I don't know what you mean by why do you have no fungus. There's fungus filling up the screen. It grows on dirt. This is stone, not dirt. It doesn't grow on stone. It grows on dirt. But it's right in the middle of the screen. Yes, it's everywhere. We actually had it before I even hit the caverns. But no, that's a net positive. I really like the fungus. The fungus is a good thing. But if you settle really close to a previous fort that had access to fungus, you don't even need to hit the caverns. I dug down to this layer and I already had access to the caverns. Seems like there's a additional reindeer that's occasionally fighting too. Got 2 beds that have been finished. But it is early spring, so there's a non-zero chance that we get migrants. And if that's the case, that would actually be kind of nice. Good news is I got enough bedrooms for everybody now. Which means I can start working on a dining hall of sorts. And I'm thinking I dig around in here. But you're all the way over here, digging south. This up here is constructed. There's no dwarves over here, so I will just lock this so that nobody gets stuck. And we'll pull this lever to close that drawbridge. You like the bedroom layout? Neat. I always try and do interesting bedroom layouts. But yeah, the surface is basically unobtainium at this point, at the very least. It may not always be the case, but for now, it's certainly unobtainium. If we can make our way to lava, that might change. But I'm not going to get my hopes up too high at the moment. Oh yeah, also, these caverns are pretty much full of aquifer. So while I am going to dig through them to open up space, our options for what I can dig through are pretty limited. But I will be trying my best to get rid of some of this. Just so that we have a little bit more building space. You know, we were theorizing that the last time I played this, and I never saw it happen. But we had, you know, traders arrive in this fort that got turned and then left the map previously. Also, back when I was playing this map actively the first time, I did run around as an adventurer infected with this stuff for a while and infect a whole human city. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't seen any active situation with that yet. I haven't witnessed it, but it's not impossible that it could happen. There's a lot of stuff that's theoretically possible that I haven't seen. There's a lot of stuff that could happen, I guess, that I definitely have not seen. Let's also hack down some more trees. And I guess I'll just smooth these. And then as far as these bodies go, well, I've got this craft shop. Could just make bone crafts. Let's just make 10. Should we have 10? Yeah, there's more than 10. Plenty. Plenty, plenty. I thought they were mining through those. I was like, no, don't do that. They're smoothing. It's fine. That's what I told them to do. Got to go, but we'll check in later. We'll see you later, Sandberg. Same with you. Got to get back to work. So, chat, who doesn't have to get back to work? Who isn't playing hooky from the gerb right now? That's the question. Let's go up to here. Who isn't playing hooky from the job right now, Stone, is what I said. We are in an ad break at the moment, so I will pause. You're unemployed, but fairly well off. Well, then you're playing hooky from the, I don't know, hobby job? But yeah, no. So today we're mostly going to be hoping for migrants. So cross your toes and fingers and hope for migrants for me. I'm also going to try and sort out these moods a little bit because we do have one rather upset dwarf who doesn't like seeing dead bodies, which is ironic because they're making bone amulets. But at the very least, they're making bone amulets. So maybe you can equip a bone amulet when you're done making bone amulets. Also putting plump helmets in barrels and whatnot. We also need to move everything down into the caverns so I can properly populate them. Because right now we're not really down in there yet. Working on it, though. Playing hooky from the insert funny organization. Sure, yeah. Playing hooky from the place that you should be, you know? You're also currently working, and by working, I mean trying to unroll a cluster fuck that your boss is making. Don't you love it when your boss just actively makes your job harder? Usually that's just me making my job harder for me. I guess, like, that's the one nice thing about being self-employed is, like, the only person I have to blame is me. So, like, when I fuck up something, I'm like, well, guess who gets to deal with this? Me. Thinking grates. Let's get some grates. How about wooden grate? Just like the look of wooden grates. Let's do 4. And we'll do tower cap. So that they're all the same color. You typically are working win here? Gotcha. What infection am I talking about? I'm talking about the evil rain on the surface, mostly. Mostly just to get rid of the bones so that my stockpile is less empty, happy camper. Selling them would be great. I don't know if they'll actually get sold because, well, the surface is evil and awful and wants everybody to die. So that would, like, require us to be able to, you know, not die and actually be able to successfully get to the surface. But let's just hop up to here. Deconstruct this, and deconstruct this, and keep that. And then go back down to here, and I'm going to go over to this. And I'm going to make a little stockpile. And this little stockpile is going to be for stone. You know what? We'll just say for everything, because if I end up with metal ore, that would be really bloody weird. Well, actually, not bloody weird, because I do actually have some metal ore, but all of the metal ore that I have is up here, and I brought it with me. So maybe we'll make a separate one for metal ore. Let's get rid of that. And I don't know exactly where I'm going to put that just yet. But I can go around up here and dig out a bunch of this. Maybe I'll smooth this, and we'll figure out what to do with that. through the second half of your workday. Well, I'm happy to help. A bit over 9 hours, so a bit over an hour and a half until you should probably go to bed. Is that what you're saying, Rolf? This isn't a reclaim, though, just to clarify to the YouTube chat, because I'm seeing reclaims being mentioned. This is me settling next to an abandoned fortress. If this was a reclaim, there would be demons everywhere. Why not digging into this? It might be dangerous, I don't know. But if I do this, there's no danger whatsoever. And because I only have 6 dwarves and no weapons, and no functional military, any threats to dwarven life is not worth it. Turns out. Something along those lines? Well, I get you then. See? Now I know for certain it's safe, so we can dig through these and get these gems. Always missing pieces? I would say don't worry about the militia too much, but what pieces are you missing usually? And what are you trying to equip? But also, don't worry about it too much, is the actual advice I have. Yeah, I let them peek through it with a fortification, is what I did. I think we should farm up here instead of down here. There's more open space. Because now I could do like a square here of just whatever and then deconstruct it and then have like an almost square little garden area. Actually, no, I could just do it up here. Let's do it up here. Sure, we'll use siltstone, but I just need to check up here. Just make sure that that's not connected. It's not. Because otherwise that could be a problem, which I don't want to have to deal with. While they slowly dig through that. Is this a brand new world? No, this is the opposite of a new world. This is me returning to a map that or an area of a world that I was actively playing a year ago. If you've watched any of my long-form videos, I don't know if you have or not, this is the world that Godly Tombs happened in. It's the world that me playing one dwarf for 10 years happened in. It's the world that a lot of the longer stories that I've told in the past with Dwarf Fortress have happened in. So this is me returning to a fortress that I played a while ago. Do you think theme runs of Dwarf Fortress would be popular? I don't understand the question. Do I think people enjoy doing theme runs? I think if you've played Dwarf Fortress for a long time, then you kind of end up doing that regardless. I don't know what you mean by popular. Do people do that? Yeah. But nothing about Dwarf Fortress is particularly popular, per se, so I guess I don't really understand the question. If you type in this and watch the first 10 minutes of that YouTube video, it'll explain everything in detail. But TLDR, you go to the surface, you die. But not really. You become an invincible threat that we can barely kill. And there's no metal here. Basically, getting migrants is almost impossible. Trading is even harder. And, good luck. That's not fun, so I don't know why anybody in their sane mind would want to do a only 2 dwarves fortress. Because then you're just micromanaging the... Basically... Is making the game less fun to play fun? No. Would that be popular? No. Are you asking me, do I think I should make content like that? No, because otherwise I would do it. If I'm not doing it, then no, I don't think people would like watching it. Which is why I don't understand the question. Is the question, do I think people would like watching challenge runs? Certainly, if they're entertaining. But you're not really being super clear, so I don't know. But if the question is specifically, would people enjoy watching that? No, because that's fucking boring. Anybody who's tried anything like that could probably agree to a point that, sure, could it be entertaining? Absolutely. If you're the one playing it, possibly. What, for watching though? Fuck no, it's boring as hell. I guess if the question is, can Dwarf Fortress be fun if themed? Yes. Are all themes fun? Fuck no. But I've stated this dozens of times in the past. And we talked about this for like an hour at the end of yesterday, and I kind of don't want to do it again. Nothing in Dwarf Fortress is inherently popular. But Dwarf Fortress is a game with no built-in goals that is designed to focus the player into being creative. So, creativity is the gameplay of Dwarf Fortress. There is no such thing as a challenge run, quote-unquote, for Dwarf Fortress, because every run requires some player-driven creativity. Meaning, that is just Dwarf Fortress. Every single one of my videos that I've ever made of this game, if you want to be a reductive YouTube moron, YouTube creator moron, every single one I've ever done is a challenge run. But to me, they're just playing Dwarf Fortress. Can you build a series of tunnels to protect trade, caravans, and immigrants? I'm trying to. That is the current task that I'm running. I've got these long tunnels. I've got this one up here with a trade depot behind it. They've got drawbridges and cage traps, and I'm slowly expanding it. The problem is, I only have 6 dwarves, and the map is 7 by 7 big, so it's going to take a while. But, oh, we've got a weasel fighting in the mix now. What's the weasel fighting? We got 2 reindeers and a weasel entering mortal combat for the rest of eternity. That weasel just got yeeted across the screen, guys. Yeah, true. I guess it's more Immortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat. It's more like IK instead of MK. Hope my days are going better than yours. Well, the construction isn't loud at this exact moment, so right now my day is pretty good. Apparently I was supposed to die in a tsunami last night, which didn't happen, which I wasn't as disappointed as the guys listening to Black Sabbath down on the dock by the beach, but I was up there. I heard some drunk guys last night shouting, "Where's this fucking wave? Fucking scam!" While listening to Black Sabbath, and I was quite amused. And you get the wheelbarrow if it's available. Yeah, I'll just let them finish these floors. Construct the building. You got a new question? Uh-huh. Yes. That's my answer to your question, Entropy. Speaking of, the dwarves, of course, arrive in the least convenient place for me possible. We now have a new set of migrants. Chat room, I need a round of beers for good luck and my own anxiety. Hold on. Actually, the first thing I gotta do is I gotta... forbid everything. Wait, no, that's unforbidding everything. I gotta... forbid everything. Everything. Let's try this one final time. Okay. Now, this side over here is murder death, because there's, if you look up in the top right here, there's abominable smoke everywhere. I don't know about where they've appeared. Are they surrounded with abominable smoke? Ah, well, yes, they're standing in it. Well, I'm going to tell them to go stand here and see how far they make it. because they decided to arrive on the wrong side of the map. Alrighty, Dwarfy McFellhandle. This one is now a zombie. It's evil, can't handle. This one is now running, and is also now a zombie. They've arrived in a very bad spot. This one didn't even make it on the map and is already a zombie. This one is now wandering onto the map, and is now a zombie. This one is now already a zombie. This one just arrived on the map, and so if I turn on ASCII for a second, you see all that yellow? If you walk into the yellow, you become a zombie. They're appearing in the middle of the yellow, completely surrounded by the yellow, and there is nothing I can do. So this one's DOA, I think, but we'll see. Nope, zombie. And zombie. And zombie. Population go up. And population go down. Then they start killing each other. I was really hoping they'd arrive on the other side of the map, but they didn't. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, hold on. Let me just type something in. Slab. I've got no unused slabs. All right, well, let's make some slabs. Rock slab. Let's make them all out of one type of rock, so at least they're, like, somewhat coordinated. At least they kill each other? I would prefer they didn't, actually, because then, well, I guess there's benefits and issues with that. I would prefer they didn't, because if they didn't, then I could, like, I wouldn't have to memorialize them all at once. The question is, where's final? This dwarf. It's pretty far away. And not seemingly interested in this dwarven brawl down here. Most of these teeth are weasel teeth, it looks like. Oh, there's also dwarf teeth. These ones appear to have all come to a fragile alliance because they don't appear to be fighting anymore. But my population fails to rise, and the numbers of zombies do. Yeah, but I can cage trap them if they're still alive, right? And then I can use them to fight things. So it's not entirely a positive or negative. I really want to get like a bunch of them up to legendary and then make them fight hell. Good and evil biome thing is messed up. Yep, and that's still actively happening here exactly the same way as it did in the old video. So, yes, very messed up. Also, extremely fun. Capital F. So we just got a migrant wave, and they're all dead already. And also, if you watch that video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. Part of the reason I'm doing this is in the last few months, this is just YouTube shit. Due to no fault of my own, YouTube has decided to not recommend my videos as much recently. So part of me redoing or returning to this map is I'm intending to make a sequel to that video. I would like to make a sequel to that video. And you know, when people are going, man, well, we need to do the thing that we know works. In my case, that is make a sequel to that video. So I am fully intending on making a sequel to that video. That is one of the reasons I'm doing this. I didn't realize that ever stopped being a thing that you were allowed to do. Wolfest Wolf. I also don't really swear in my videos that much, just kind of as a habit. I don't know. Never really struck me as something that, like, made a lot of sense to do. Maybe when I was a, like, immature child, but as an adult, Not really something I do very often. Anyway, so it's not that relevant to me, I guess. I know that I can't say the word DIKE E at any point in the video, even when referring to the name or the thing that they build in Holland to make the ocean butt go away. Because I just get immediately flagged for, like, saying a slur. Which, I get it. Like, that is almost the same word as a slur, but it's not as... Anyway. This here, just to save time, my food stockpile is going to move down here. Although, I was just going to put it over here. Food stockpiles. Everything but seeds. And then right behind it here, I'm just going to put seeds. And no barrels in the seed stockpile. I'm just going to jump up to here and do that and delete this. I mean, different languages have different slurs for different reasons. I don't even think of that word as a slur. Like, so for clarity, that word with an I is a pile of dirt that stops water from flowing. That word with a Y is a derogatory term referring to a lady who like other ladies, depending on who's saying it. So it's like... It's a pretty normal word, but it's one of those unfortunate words that's annoying because robots don't understand. Anyway, you know what platform doesn't have robots that snipe me out of the sky for saying a word? Twitch. Which is still kind of nice. So now I need to go through basically and just engrave everything that doesn't have a slab engraved and isn't memorialized yet. Otherwise... we may end up with ghosts again, and I don't need no more ghosts. Because I may not be afraid of no ghosts, but buddy, I'm afraid of all ghosts. My dwarves are afraid of all ghosts, rather. For using the word hose. Okay. As a gardener, how much do you really use hose? Like, you don't need to say that word all that often. Like, let's be real for a sec. That's not that needed a word to be said all of the time. Like, yeah, it's a word what gets said, but like, I don't know. I don't know how much you really need to say that word. Minecraft players in shambles, certainly. I guess, yeah, Stardew Valley speedrun commentators. Very niche market, really. Was to keep the Saxons out as well. There's as well for another use for the word. Ah, you could say tiller, but that's also like somebody who works in a bank. Bruce in YouTube chat, like a bank tiller. That is the person what give you the money at the bank. I don't know why I keep saying what in that context like that. That is the person what do that. I don't even know where that comes from in my vocabulary, but it does. It comes from somewhere, that's for sure. Teller versus tiller? Well, somebody who works at a till. Maybe I'm like misunderstanding words. Which wouldn't be impossible. I wouldn't put it past me. This one does not have any connections. I don't actually want it up here, though. I would want this one down here. Person at the bank is a teller. Well, Tell me about it. Why don't you? Another thing I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to remove a couple of these miners. To have half of the dwarves mining. So other tasks can get focused on a little bit more. I'm also going to put one of those dwarves onto hauling. So we can get a little bit more hauling done. A teller is a plate? Well, okay. Meanwhile, YouTube chat saying say what again? I kind of feel like those memes or like those TikTok videos of like a bunch of friends trying to bully one person into saying a slur and they're like, nope, can't do it. It's kind of how I feel sometimes on YouTube when talking about language, because people know exactly what word I'm saying, but someone's always like, say it. I don't know what word you're talking about. And it's like, What, like pen and teller? I'm more of a pencil and cashier person. Someone I know likes to say that English is a gelatinous construct. I like to say it's 150 different languages in a trench coat. So I really hope that the migrants start coming from the north, because that's the angle where I have the highest chance of, like, there not being murder rain. But if they don't, well, about that. I'm also just going to make some more cage traps up here. Actually, maybe not up here. I'm going to start placing some cage traps up here because I'm going to need them. That's going to be like one of the only ways to really deal with stuff here is just cage traps. Cage traps and then throwing the whole cage out if I want to get rid of them. Some more than others. Like, there are some languages that just adopt... Well, rather than adding new words from other languages into their language, they just refuse to add new words, so they instead just use other languages' words. There's those languages, and then there's languages that make up new words periodically. So... But yeah, to a degree, you are correct. I think there's just some bigger offenders than others. No. Migrants cannot come through cavern layer entrances. Same with traders. They cannot enter through the caverns. All right, so all this is moving down here. Okay, we clearly finished making all of our rock blocks. Let's make some more. I'm thinking mostly sandstone, probably. Let's just make 20. And this is all down here, which is just a dog's foot, mostly. Let's make a totem. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong shop. This is where I need to go. Totem. Repeat, and bone. Amulet. And now that we've got a whole bunch of these done, I'm also just going to jump up here and see what is not the last thing that isn't slab engraved. No slab engraved, and no slab engraved. And I'm going to go up to here, and I'm just going to plunk her down. We'll see you later today. Have a good bite. Also going to go up to here Place another garden. Do this one next, but we'll wait a little bit on that. This over here needs a lever. Ah, well, that explains it. So I'm going to deconstruct this and go down to here. Sure, corrupting smoke. Yeah. Can you recruit cavern dwellers? Well, the cavern dwellers have been removed from the game, and no. Not without hacking the game, anyway. So, chat, it's Wednesday. How's your week been so far? You know, we are, I guess, past halfway through summer? It's starting to feel like we're halfway through summer, at least over here. I don't know about you guys, but summer is the slow season for my stream, traditionally. Exactly for the reason that Silvershe just said in chat. You know, busy. People get up to all sorts of things in the summer that they don't do the rest of the year. So the reality is, you know, a lot less people tune into the old Twitch arenas over here during the summer. So my question is, how's your summer been? It's been eventful? Busy? Not busy? Done anything interesting? Today I'm excited. This afternoon I'm actually going to a concert, which is weird. I don't normally go to concerts on Wednesdays, but there's a free one happening in the middle of the city today. So shout outs to all of the cruise ships that docked today, because there's a death metal show happening in the middle of downtown. So if you live in Victoria, go downtown this afternoon around 6. It's winter, by the way. It's always summer in Brazil. Don't lie to me. I've had people who live pretty far south in Brazil, who I know vaguely through the internet, who are just like complaining about how cold it is in the winter. And I'm like, mate, it doesn't get that hot here in the summer. What are you on about? Like, out of curiosity, what's the temperature there right now? In Celsius, so that I don't have to search translation, if possible. Humble request. But that's the way these days. I getcha. So it's 32 degrees Celsius in the winter. Just confirming that is Celsius. It hasn't gotten that hot here in the summer yet. So, like, mate, sorry, it's summer. How's your summer been? I refuse to acknowledge the existence of your winter. Your winter is a scam. That's like, okay, so like, I think it was 18 Celsius during the day yesterday. Mass. It's 36 to 39 Celsius in Japan. Jeebers. Kev says 10 Celsius in Brazil right now. Well, okay, I mean, that's pleasant. Had some record low temperatures this year. What, did they hit like 20 Celsius or something? I'm sure it's colder than that, but yeah, there's a streamer I watch sometimes who lives in Brazil, and I was in her chat once, and she's just like, so what's the weather like up there? And I'm just like, oh, you know, it's like middle of the summer, so it's nice and warm. It's like 25 Celsius. And there was a lot of cackling in her chat. And then they're like, come visit Brazil. I'm like, no, it's too hot. Like, it's nice and cool in the winter. I'm like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? Don't lie to me. Just because you live in the mouth of hell doesn't mean that, like, when it's slightly cooler hell, it's still hot. It gets to about 68 Celsius. So you live in between Satan's butt cheeks, Entropy? Certainly sounds like it. Do you live in like the middle of downtown Dubai or something? Outside on the concrete? It's very nice except for January, which gets to 40 plus. See, that's already like an unsell for me. Like, I will... Anything above like 20 degrees, I will start to get annoyed because it's too warm to wear jeans. And then like anything above 25, I will actively complain. Well, I get it. Like I'll tolerate it, but I don't enjoy it. I like, you know, maybe like 12 to 18 degrees Celsius in that window. That's like my I'm a 28 degrees Celsius in the shade kind of guy. Like if I'm in direct sun, fuck that. If it's like shady and there's a nice cool breeze, I'm in. I can deal with that. Gotta watch out for the parasites though. Yep. Rent is cheap between Satan's butt cheeks. So you do live in Dubai. Well, okay. You know, I had a viewer ages ago. I don't know if you actually live in Dubai. I had a viewer from ages ago who comes by every now and again who posted a picture of his cat, and he lives in an apartment building in Dubai. And he posted a picture of a kitten outside of a sliding glass door on like the 20th story of a building in Dubai. And he's like, he wanted out. And the cat's like, let me back in. God, let me in. And he just like wrote underneath in quotes, let me in. I forgot that I live in Dubai. It's like, yeah, let him back in. I mean, entropy just said 68 Celsius, so I don't know if that's worse than 50. I think that's worse than 52 Celsius, actually. Emperor Iron. Also, we have a baby yak. That's like my old apartment. My old apartment used to be like that. I specifically moved out to this island, though, because it's cooler. Tungdill says Death Valley was the worst place I ever worked on. I ever worked on an uninsulated gold mine smelter stack. Did they at least provide free Gatorade and water? Those slabs are filled. Those are all of the migrants that have arrived that have died before making it 10 steps into the map. Yeah. These are the rest of them. There's more. Those are just the ones that have died. This fort has maybe gotten 30, 40 migrants at this point, but none of them have made it to the fort. Vile Weasel, the second. I'll have you know that our fortress group is called the Strangled Weasel. Welcome to the fort. And the channel. Thanks for the prime sub. Jack, gonna get a round of beers. Please and thank you. I worked a summer job in a factory once. In a factory downtown. It wasn't downtown, but it was in a factory. And it was injection molding, so plastics. And they gave free Gatorade out. Because a lot of the jobs, like, inside of the building with, like, the sun on the walls, midday in the middle of summer, it was about 15 degrees hotter inside than it was outside. And it was hitting about 30 in the summer. So it was about 45 in the factory. And then you're standing next to, like, molten plastic. I don't actually have a table in this fortress yet, but I can get you a table when I make one. I'm about to make one. I'm in the process of it. I'm trying to, like, build entrances to the fort and also get a fort functioning fort thing up and running. Oh, trust me. This whole world has been sabotaged by me trying to settle in this area. Don't you worry about it. Trust me. This isn't the first civ I've, like, I guess, quote-unquote, sabotaged. This is going to be a tavern. Once I get it done. Although the outpost liaison did make it in and then back out, so there is that. Have you ever heard of the... Well, you haven't, because nobody has. You should look up the band Satan's Butt Cheeks, by the way, Entropy. So when I say, like, you live in Satan's Butt Cheeks, I'm actually referencing something. There's one particular song that they wrote, which is Satan is My Osteopath. Yes. Here's their Bandcamp link. And just give this a listen. I really like the high quality like font work they've got up there. But anyway, yeah, just go listen to that song. I'd play it, but I think it might mute my VOD, so it's not worth it. But oh, it fucking bang. Here's the 2 words that you need to know about Satan's Butt Cheeks, okay? They're not a real band. That's the first part. They're a supergroup made up of about 8 guys that jammed together 4 songs on Halloween once and then recorded them. They're all part of other bands and never actually had a band, so it's just dumb fucking comedy shit, and it's real fun. You know, I kind of doubt we'll see anything from the elves because the elves are so fucking far away. And the nearest human faction is, like, hates us. You work in a forging plant, hot steel and aluminum in Texas, and can get upwards of 120 degrees in the press lines. I'm presuming it's like the factory, or when I worked in the factory, which was you have to wear, like, overalls and big gloves and a hard hat. On a hot summer day, going outside in the 100-degree weather. Yeah, I mean, it's all like what you're accustomed to, right? Like, working in a place like that, not that bad. If you've done it for a while, it's when you're a teenager on a summer job and you just get put in there with no experience, like that. It takes a while to, like, acclimate to any kind of job like that. We've also got a whole herd of elk that have been abominable smoke zombified. They live in this corner now and are turning each other into teeth. That's all. They are turning each other into teeth. Also, I really hope this doesn't mute my VOD. So I will pause the game for a moment. I need to listen to this riff. Hold on. Chat, these are the sweet sounds of Satan's butt cheeks. Wish me luck here.
Mend, back, bend, crack, 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 mend, back, bend, crack.
Anyway, I just need to listen to that riff. That lives rent free in my head. Like it's always there. I always hear it. Every morning and when my back cracks, I'm like, mend, back, bend, crack. I mean, now it's got the aesthetics of Evil Snow, you know? Just the coatings of elk teeth. Where are you heading? You're making a rock... Oh, boy. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say... Only take items from here, please. And, just gonna get rid of this and just make blocks. Just generic blocks. But yeah, I found out about that song because I bought a I bought a couple of records from a label during the pandemic that was basically going, hey, we might go out of business, guys. And I really wanted them to not go out of business. So I bought a couple records from them. And they had a little thingy at the bottom of the page. It was like, spend X amount of dollars and get a free label CD, which was just 4 CDs and every single track was a different band. And I grabbed it, and each CD was a different local record label to this label. And there's 4 of them. I was like, well, that's like a pretty solid little free CD thing. Each one had like an hour plus of music. And I listened to the whole thing during lockdown in mid-2020 in one day. And the first CD, mostly pop music, not the label that I bought from originally, so not really my thing. The second CD was more punky stuff, pretty good. The third CD, more pop music and like EDM stuff, not really my thing. The last one was the metal label that I purchased from, which is where I got the CD from. And that song was the second last song to play. And after I finished dying laughing, I played that song like 5 times in a row and set it to repeat for the rest of the day. It was pretty good. Butt cheeks? I mean, it won't be a dwarf. It's more likely to be a zombie, but that's going to take a while. But I'm not going to set that as an objective. If we end up with a really powerful zombie and somebody decides to name them butt cheeks, I'll humor it. But I'm not going to set that as a goal or anything, no. Because that seems a little silly. Okay, so I've got a table and a chair, and I've got to name a table. Boom Boom, I guess. And I'm going to set this as a dining hall. Oops. I'm going to set this as a dining hall. On this map, every dwarf really matters. Yes, also that. Yeah. The fact that I lost one dwarf, I'm still beating myself up over, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. I wish you can make ghosts useful somehow. They're great at traumatizing your dwarves if that's a use to you. Where are you going to go conduct this meeting? Once I get these tunnels finished digging... Once I finish digging these tunnels, life's going to get a lot easier for me. Life's going to get a lot easier for me. I don't know. I'm kind of happy that ghosts aren't useful. Do we have a couple? No. I'm not going to play this fort long enough to make it into a Generations fort. I am, like, repulsed by making Generations forts. For the exact reason that I stopped playing the last fort prematurely. Well, not stopped playing the fort before the last fort prematurely. And for the same reason that I got kind of moody, I guess, towards the end of the last fort. And that is simply, you know, if I play a fort for too long, people get fucking bored. It takes 18 years in game for a child to become a functional dwarf. I'm probably never going to do a planned generational fort because I know for a fact it would be horrible for me stream-wise, it would be horrible for me entertainment-wise, and it would be horrible for the audience. So I'm probably never going to do that. So couples are practically irrelevant. I mean, if they do happen, that's great because it'll help to keep the dwarves happy, but it is not something I'm prioritizing nor something that I particularly care about. I mean, I've done it. I kept the fort alive for 470 years. We were on Generation 6 of a lot of the starting 7 dwarves. And, like, it has its moments, but it's... I'm never going to do it again. And, that's it. That's the beginning and the end of it. All right, we now have chair and table. I think I'll make 4 tables and 4 chairs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this to 5 because I also need an office. I don't need an office. I want an office. Is what not an option, Platonic Cave Dweller? Who becomes king? Whoever the dwarves decide. There's nothing I can do to help you with that. They may also decide somebody who is so far away from your fortress that you'll never see them. But the dwarves will arbitrarily decide somebody who becomes king. Is it not, what, an option to make them age faster? No. What? I mean, you could speed the frame rate up, but no. I mean, maybe with modding the game, but that's not what I describe as options, I guess. It would be that one that activates the moment all of your dwarves become necromancers? I don't understand. Darius, thank you very much for the 5-pack. Hey, you got FG squared. That's kind of neat. Chat, can I get a round of beers for our friend Darius here, who probably just doubled up my month's revenue here on Twitch? It's FG's 66th month. I guess she unsubscribed from me. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't subscribe to her, though, so that's fair. It's fair. But yeah, I really hope that I can make a good sequel to the fort that this one is the follow-up to. That's my big hope, really. This over here is almost complete now, which means I can throw another door over here. Got 2 doors left. And then we'll plunk one over here. And I will put a drawbridge right here. This was where the first migrant wave arrived, actually. This lever right here, no, not this one, this one right here, which isn't hooked up to anything, is going to be connected to that drawbridge and continue along the historic quest of building that. I mean, you'd have, like, in order for me to be interested in a necromancer-themed fortress mod, I think necromancers would have to have some pretty seismically different gameplay mechanics. The main reason I don't like using a ton of necromancers is it stops them from needing to eat and drink, which to me, like, removes the need to farm, which also removes a lot of the ability to easily keep, or reasonably keep them happy, which I don't enjoy. It's kind of the same issue that I have with, like, vampire forts, and also a lot of the modded civilization forts, is, like, the second you remove the need for alcohol, the game becomes way less fun to me. I enjoy the game a lot more when I have pretty specific mechanics that I need to maintain, and I get tired of playing games where my only reasonable option is, basically, like, sitting and waiting. I don't enjoy that. So, seriously, though, considering it's been slow the last month, I do have to say thank you very much, Darius. You're one of the ones who actively keeps this channel alive with the 5-packs that you chuck. So, appreciate you. Looking forward to September when humans are less busy, but also, you know, I miss my busy season when it's not the busy season. This over here is going to get connected to this bridge. The materials don't matter so much. And then usually somebody picks that task up pretty quickly, which in this case is going to be Bumwreck. And then that's another one of the tunnels done. Do you have ammunition set to training? Also, do they have ammunition? Those are my first two questions. One, do they have ammo? Two, are these archers or crossbow dwarves? Three, do you have specific ammo types set for training and not training? If you're using archers, stop using archers and use crossbows. The reason is dwarves can't make bows and arrows, but they can make crossbows and bolts. You need to have a supply of training bolts available set to training. If they've run out of bolts, if they're all forbidden, they can't train. If they run out of the type of arrows that you want them to train with, due to them breaking, which they do during training, they won't work. That's the quick version of how you can maybe decipher the problems. Later, Tungdill. On the YouTube side of things. Have ammo, they use crossbows and quivers. You think setting the bolts for training is it? Just make sure that you set the right kind of bolts. Because you have to do it in every single squad individually. Setting ammo types, which is usually just like, all I do is add ammo, material, or bolts, material, metal, add ammo, bolts, material, wood, and then maybe also bone. Set the wooden bone ones for training, and then set the metal ones for combat. That's what I do generally, which means they need to be highlighted. If they're not highlighted, then they're disabled. What's the glitch that I mentioned? Well, I mean, it's a bug. Glitch and a bug are kind of two different definitions in my brain, but the bug that I mentioned is if you've generated a new world since version 52.01, Forgotten Beasts don't have powers, and I was planning on making a fort specifically focused on Forgotten Beast fighting other Forgotten Beasts. And because they don't have their powers, there's literally no way for me to do that fort in any reasonable fashion that I wanted to do. So it's completely moot. That's the glitch that I mentioned. It's been talked about on the KitFox Discord pretty extensively, but not mentioned publicly anywhere. And I found out about it talking to Putnam on Saturday, because I recorded a 30-minute conversation with Putnam, which I'm going to make into a video, but I have to finish that first. What do you want? You want to eat a good meal, be with family, you want excitement, and acquire an object. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do down here is see how many of these tables and thrones are done. One is done. How about chairs? None is done. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a meeting zone right here. And I'm going to set this to be an inn/tavern. It's called the Date of Castles. Chat, we need a better name for this tomb. You know, I wonder. Oh. Thunder Cup! It's gonna be the name of it. The Thunder Cup. That's the name of my tavern. And it's terrible and tiny, but it exists now, so they have a place to socialize and do tavern stuff if they want. Not really on theme. I don't know. If you've got something better, that's just what popped into my brain. If you can think of something better, I'll change it. Every restaurant needs like 3 to 10 different rebrands during their existence usually, so... I'm going to make a separate stockpile for meals. Prepared meals und drink. Although I doubt we'll ever get any mead. And you are going to take items from here. This is going to be food unfinished. And Food Tavern. Temis Evolved, thank you very much for the Prime. Double Dawn, thanks for the 5-pack. You're one of the others that are keeping the channel funded through the summer months. Thank you. Appreciate you. We are already the Strangled Weasel, so that's not useful. How about the, How about the blockade of dinner? I don't mod the game, so that's not my job. Entropy. I like mods that suit the game, that feel like the game, that don't take me out of the game. A lot of mods are like, we're going to add a lot of dinosaurs. I'm like, that's cool. I don't care. That's not what I'm interested in the slightest. I'm also very rarely interested in modding the game in general. It's not that I don't. I have in the past, but like I'm literally running 0 mods right now because I don't care about just cramming more shit in the game. There's already stuff that I've never seen in this game. I don't need to just jam more stuff in there. I have piles of variety that I can access already by simply changing my world gen parameters and changing the frequency of creature spawns, which isn't even modding the game. What do I want from mods? People to stop asking me what I want from mods. This is a game that you can play for thousands of hours and not see everything. And still run into new shit. I don't feel that this game needs mods, really. The mods I've used in the past are all total overhaul mods. And that is up to you and your creativity to make. When I say total overhaul mods, I mean in the past I played the Star Wars mod a couple times because it was fun. I played the Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom mod a good number of times, and that was fun, which is Super Mario Brothers. I played with the Pokemon mod a couple times, which just adds weird titans everywhere that are fucking Pokemon, and then a Pikachu shows up and kills everybody with this weird yellow fire stuff. Or ice or whatever. Like that kind of stuff I've used. But when you're just like, what are over-the-top mods that you would like or are interested in? None of them. Stop asking me. Go make them yourself. That's not why I play this game. Legends in the Pokemon mod is very dank. The legends in the Pokemon mod are something special. Like, something special. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't care, I guess, is actually the... We talked about this yesterday. Was it you who mentioned 5D Dwarf Fortress with time travel yesterday, or was that somebody else? But somebody yesterday mentioned 5D Dwarf Fortress with time travel. I wouldn't mind time travel. If you could make it so that we could speed up time, that would be cool. Or like restart world gen, but like that's not possible. Yeah, there's a Pokemon mod for Dwarf Fortress. I don't think it has a sprite set though, Kev. Which is also a reason I don't use a lot of those overhaul mods from back in the day. That was almost a hype train, but I was too distracted talking about dumb mods. So next time, I will ignore the conversation of over-the-top mods that I don't care about and try and go chat and start a hype train. That's evil. Silver Sheet, what? I mean, you can ask about mods, but you just need to realize that, like, I am a product of my circumstance. And one of those circumstances that I've made for myself is I am quite well known for making tutorials for Dwarf Fortress. And I've modded this game a bunch in the past. And in the past, I learned that if I'm trying to explain this game to people constantly, and then I have to differentiate between what is and what isn't a mod, things get very difficult for me on the day-to-day very quickly. So, like, mods should be a thing that you want for your game. Do that. Mod it. Have fun. Have a great time. Tell me about them. Because that's fun. But me modding the game kind of makes my job harder unless it's, like, a themed run specifically. And nothing really interests me. When the modding overhaul came out, there was a few things that popped up, and they still are there. There's still possibilities there that I'm interested in. I would like to see more variety in Forgotten Beasts. I would like to see more variety in materials that make sense in the world, or things that exist in the world but aren't in the world yet. I would like to see more variety in things like weather. I want more evil weather variety. I want more good weather variety. Stuff like that that suits the game, that doesn't take me out of it. Basically, I'm the guy in Skyrim adding the more vanilla faces mod, and the more voices mod, and the more clothing. But I'm not adding like the world-ending magic, the tanks, and the flying Thomas the Tank Engine, and the battleships that fly in the sky, and the Space Marines. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that increases the believable vanilla content first, unless it's a total overhaul mod that's completely themed, and none of them have tile sets, so they're kind of... Anyway. Yeah, vanilla with sprinkles. Like, I used to have a mod for an older version of the game that literally just changed the name of scepters to dildos. Why? But I did. It was funny. Yeah, it turns the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine. Or, sorry, the Werverins. There are no dragons in Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, so this up here, the copper steel, is an engraver guild. I'm just going to delete that. I'm also going to delete this. Get rid of these two beds, because I'm trying to get these dwarves underground. I will just remind you that there was one time in a combat log in Dwarf Fortress, I saw a Yoshi rip the arm off of a giant Pikachu. So, you know. And then blood sprayed everywhere. It was a time. It was a time. I'm gonna make a kitchen. And I'm going to make lavish meal 5 monthly. Brew drink from plant monthly 5. And labor kitchen drinks. Don't cook my wine, please. We're kind of limited on that. And don't cook my plum helmets, even though I normally allow that, because I'm kind of limited. Or my plum helmet seed, or my pigtail seeds, for that matter. We're also going to plant pigtail seeds. I think like maybe the closest, since we're talking about mods, the closest to like a completed-ish state overhaul mod is probably Dwarf Fortress Dark Ages right now. That's a mod I'd consider you playing at some point just for a themed run, but then I'd need to like feel like I have nothing else to do, and I haven't been in that state for a while. I don't know. I guess I'm just like weirdly satisfied with the vanilla content of Dwarf Fort as well. Which I'm not positive that's a bad thing or a good thing, really. Okay, who are you attending a meeting with? Two-handed weapons scare me in Fortress mode because that's really bad for the physics engine in Fort mode. I had a mod once that allowed that in version 47, and I had a dwarf stab themselves and cut their own arm off. And ever since then, I've been like, whenever I see those, but good luck. Yeah, I mean, little reworks and stuff like that. Go nuts. I used a custom race once which added brownies, which were basically just elves, but they could use metal. They were like elves that acted like goblins. Yeah, it's probably just me being paranoid about version 47 stuff, but chat, I need a round of beers for good luck, or click the party button for good luck, because some migrants have arrived. The Dark Knight, I did a run of that once. It was okay. I found it to be kind of a lot, but that was a long time ago. I think there's actually like documentation for the Long Night now. Okay, let's see. Just seeing if they are surrounded with anything. Not that I'm seeing. Okay, so over here, yes. And there's also a bunch of zombies over here. If I run to the center... That's still there. Maybe we have a chance. Not a zombie yet. Population rising. They may run away in fear when they see the Titan up here fighting. It's 1, 2. There's a Titan fighting up here with this. 3, 4. 5, 6. 7. 8. That's a talented swords dwarf. I think that gem cutter was the first one, yeah? You get a name. Now this is a problem. The door's open. Two of them are at the gate. I wonder, actually. Okay, so these guys are all just kind of standing down here, not super interested. Did I get any livestock in that? Yes, there is a chick. Waiting for this door to open. Gates open. Open this. Delete this. I'm also going to make sure that they all get assigned to this. Gotta run inside, runner. Go inside. Final comes in. This is a zombie. He should get cage trapped. And he doesn't. Because he was one of my dwarves from the looks of things. Wait a second. Are you not fighting with this dwarf? What is happening? The game isn't paused. His head is dented, his neck is dented, his spine is dented. No, he is a zombie. Mate, he's a smoke zombie. I'm going to go over here and place a meeting zone. And I'm going to remove the runner from their spot. Like, you shouldn't be worrying about this. Like, you should be able to go here. I was thinking maybe, like, the zombie's arms were missing or something. Okay, you're now moving. What was back there? Oh, it's a stray horse foal. Maybe I just lock that. Runner indeed, hey? Runner like it's summer. You know what? Runner, you're gonna do me a favor. You're gonna do me a favor here. Maybe. Anything can become a smoke zombie. A cat can become a smoke zombie. If you get touched by the rain, you become a smoke zombie. I had an adventurer that was a necromancer smoke zombie. If you are a thing what can walk with some semblance of sentience, you can become a smoke zombie. So now I've got a bunch of new dwarves in here. And I've also got a ghost named Udil. What if I place these down here? Udil. It's us. Oh, I see. I actually see the problem. You're not set to hall right now. Now you are. And they may also not be considered ours in the fort. So she may not be able to haul them. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just not going to worry about it. Deconstruct this. Open this. Getting this dwarf inside, I think, is more valuable. Right now. Go here, set a meeting zone down here. Go over to this, grab this, pull this. She's not in the burrow. I removed her right away. That's how she got to the other side. This whole side isn't in the burrow. It's not the burrow. I think what it is item ownership is weird. If your dwarves didn't make an item, or if something didn't bring an item onto a map when you arrive there, this is most obvious in the when you're digging too deeply and greedily, where with the angels' gear, their stuff is often how do I put it? Their stuff is often hostile, like immediately, or not hostile. It's considered not part of the dwarven faction. So in order to get it, you have to put it on a pedestal. There is a stockpile full of like stuff from a wagon, which maybe... Oh, Jesus. Why did you go back up, you doofus? There is stuff, part of a stockpile from a wagon that might be gettable, but I'm just going to leave it paused. I got to use the washroom. Back in a second. To those of you, yes, we can name something. There's no Forgotten Beasts on the map, so no. But I cannot name a Forgotten Beast because there's no Forgotten Beasts on the map. What else would you like me to name? And no, I'm not going to name anything after me, ever. I don't do that. So for those of you who like to know the construction updates, there is now cement trucks putting concrete where the road once was, and it's starting to look like a road again. So, Dwarf, can you go down a level, please? So, no, Stormwolf. But I could give you a dwarf, or you could name a dwarf whatever you want that isn't me. You should know by this point, having watched my stream for a while, that I don't like being named after things in my own forts. You can do that in your fort, but leave me out of it. Let's just set this back to everybody does this for hauling. There we go. Udil the ghost has been put to rest. Let's also just put a meeting zone down here. So maybe this chick turns around. Come on, chick, turn around. You know you want to. There you go. I can lock this, go down here, click this, grab this, unlock this. Let this chick in. Get it? Chicken. I am very confused about what's up with Final. Because, like, they're not friendly. I can tell you that. Because I've had my own dwarves who've been converted rip my own dwarves apart before. So I don't know what's up with that one. I'm not nearly brave enough to release it in the fortress. But at the same time, I kind of want to know. Here's something I could do. I can make a pen pasture. And I could put this stray horse here. And I could let him in with the stray horse and see if he fights it. I don't know. What is ready? So, Stormwolf, what would you like me to name? You'll take that brewery you saw earlier. You don't think you've taken a brewer before. All right. Brewer, this one. Stormwolf. Reload if needed. I don't know, chat. Do you guys want me to release Stormwolf into the... or not Stormwolf. Do you guys want me to release Final into the fort after saving, then reload if he kills everybody? Is that a legitimate use of science? She felt fondness after talking with an acquaintance. She is driven by a bouncing frenetic energy, and she has a relentless drive, completely consumed by ambition. She is a pessimist, and she is often nervous. She likes to brawl, and she prefers to present herself modestly. She has a tendency to consider ideas and abstractions over practical applications, and she tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects. She is fairly important in the grand scheme of... She thinks she is fairly important in the grand scheme of things, and she generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity. And she needs alcohol to get through the working day. And personally sees guile and cunning as indirect and somewhat worthless, and dreams of mastering a crafting work someday. She likes stibnite and silver and green jade, larch wood, the color clear glass, giant mountain goat hoof, the color dark pink, maces, figurines, and puzzle boxes, and cavies for their 3 toes, rambutan trees for their help suitor. Rambutan trees for their fruit, and the sound of the willful nails, the sound of the top suitor, and the sight of the cardinal blossom, and when possible, prefers to consume beet plants, me too, and prickleberry wine, and absolutely hates leeches, me too. She worships the god Onget, and is a member of the Copper Faith. The Onget is... the god of metals, which is sad, and has 3 worshippers. Fit for science? Okay, well, here's what we'll do first. I'll put this horse into this area. I'll let this dwarf interact with the horse. And if he doesn't kill the horse... Wait, actually, where is this horse? Watch this horse be like, oh, yeah. Never mind. To hell with that horse. Horse is dead. I never even knew a horse. In that case, I will instead put one of the baby yaks up in here and not the horse. Well, I can tell you for fact that never happened in the past. And I definitely had them get covered in liquids several times. So I don't think this is going to work. But we'll see. He's still set as hostile and opposed to life, which means they should kill everything that is living. Let's see. Okay, so this is a calf, which he just horribly murdered. Okay? I don't think this dwarf is friendly. Why is Runner fine? That's a good question. That is a good question. Why is Runner fine? Yeah, because he hacked it to pieces and mutilated it with a pickaxe. Is she related to him? Doubt that would have an effect. No. Okay, here's another thing we could try. I'm going to make a burrow right here. Separate burrow. Actually, why don't I do this? Runner, you be the only miner for a minute. So I'm going to tell Runner to dig through this. And dig through this. And stand there. I'm going to put a burrow right here that only Runner is assigned to. And I'm going to tell Runner to dig into here. Because maybe what's happened is the rules have changed now. But I kind of doubt it. Make me a rock door, please. But I may just wall this dwarf in. Will I save first? Yeah, before I open the door. You could make me manually save if you want. But I was planning to do it, yeah. Why don't I... This dwarf is like having a decision-making paralysis moment. And then I can just get rid of this. Grab this, do this. And seal you in. No, 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 no. Dash off limits. Now go over here and pick at the wall, please. Now stop picking at the wall, please. All right. So now for science, because this is just for science, I will do a quick save. I have a question. Press 1 if you think this dwarf is about to die. Press 2 if you think the dwarf will live. What do you think? Press 3 if you're confused and you missed the whole bit. Three is a legitimate option. You hope Runner is special. It'd be wild if we had a dwarf that was, like, immune to the zombie. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be something? I'm not getting my hopes up, though. Let me tell you. Not in the slightest. It would be crazy if, like... I bet he was trying to avoid the trap. I mean, I think he was trying to do handlebars to climb around it, but... Runner is main character? Possibly. But he also avoided all 3 traps with seemingly no issues, so... Let's see what happens. Runner is now a zombie. So I think that answers that. I think that answers that, chat. No, Runner's dead. Runner is no longer a runner. Runner is... Oh, no, runner's dead. Like, he cut runner into a foot, a leg, a hand, an upper leg, a head, and a mutilated corpse remnants. And Final has leveled up. Final killed him, killed runner by striking the dwarf gem cutter in the head with a bronze pick, severing it. Removed the zombie's upper lip with a pick. Removed the zombie's, removed runner's leg with the bronze pick. Removed the zombie's throat, which collapsed. Yeah, I think that that's very conclusive evidence that no, in fact, that dwarf was not immune to zombie murder. So now my question is twofold. Do we continue? Or do I go back to that save? Personally, I think we continue. Because I expected that to happen. And if any of you didn't... otherwise, we can just let it be a mystery and go back to the save point. Because I think runner's run to the fortress was pretty dramatic and awesome. What happened, guys? We had a dwarf that was seemingly managed to perfectly avoid the zombies, or a zombie, and chat was like, what if they're immune? What if they're immune? We need to know. So I put them in a room together, and the zombie chopped them into 40 pieces. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Okay, let's reload. People who believed are first to die in the zombie apocalypse? Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Quick load option. I generally don't rename people once they're named. Bruce Cohen? Caron? I'll try to say your name. Science happened. Dulkin. No chaos, just science. But we did, in fact, get a migrant wave in successfully, so I don't know how long you stepped away for. One, two, three, four, five, six. That's as many picks as we have. And I can delete this and make sure that you are in this. The problem now that we have is this zombie hasn't left. And I need them to leave. So I'm hoping that by opening this gate, it'll leave. Also, maybe I could put a meeting zone right here, and then that horse, or that foal, which is now apparently a full-ass grown horse, will make its way up there, and instead of just running away from this owl forever, but what do I know? I do need Final here to leave. It is possible Runner was just stealthing, but by all counts, that shouldn't have been enough. It's very odd. You know, there was also a meeting zone here. It's possible this dwarf was just in the meeting zone and, like, dwarf AI had taken over for some dumb reason. Which, like, I've seen happen before in some cases. Like, you'll have a visitor who's also a were creature dancing in a tavern, and then they become a were creature, and they just keep dancing until the dancing pattern is finished. I've seen that before. Admittedly, not very often, but... What happened to the last new fort? This is what I need. Chat, for those of you who remember, could you please tell our friend here what happened to the last new fort? Or you could type an exclamation point last fort and it'll tell you. So you are now killing this horse, correct? The gate is shut. Kicks the horse in the right foot, but the attack glances away. Oh, I guess it ran away, but... Now he's chasing the horse. Well, at least you're now distracted by something. The bug is, for reference, is any worlds generated after 52.01. Forgotten Beasts don't have their powers. It's a bug that's being discussed quite heavily on the KitFox Discord, but isn't in the patch notes anywhere yet. So he's just trying to catch this horse. This is like me playing adventure mode, trying to catch the horse. Oh, now they're fighting. And the horse got turned, and he killed the horse. In fact, he killed it by striking the zombie horse in the neck with a bronze pick, and the severed parts sailed off in Le Arc. Wait, hold on. Wasn't I at 14 population a moment ago? Maybe I'm imagining things. This dwarf is pissed! This dwarf is grouchy after getting caught in a snowstorm and is complaining about getting caught in a snowstorm to somebody in charge, probably. Well then. You open an issue waiting for the fix if it ever happens. No, it's just any world that's generated after 51.01, or 52.01. Any world that's generated after that point is not going to have Forgotten Beasts with powers. So it's kind of... It's really nothing to do with, like, if a fix ever comes. It's like, I'm not even convinced that one's fixable, I guess. But regardless, we have more dwarves now, so let's try and get things a little bit more functional here. I don't think any of them are married. Which means I now need more bedrooms. Which is kind of more than I was expecting to need. I could do, like, awful, tiny Japanese apartment style. These are ugly looking. Let's do, like, maybe this and this instead. And then I could do one layer further down and continue it, but I don't know. Could also just do another one of these vertical above it. Like I could do like... No, it would be if you want to generate a world. I presume you can still do this. They haven't changed this. Go to Steam, right-click on your install, go to betas, go to beta participation, click that, and then go to 51.13, generate a world, then go forwards to the current branch and play. That would be a way around it. Oopsies. Should be one down this way. Yeah, that's right. And how did I do this? I did it this way, 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 and connected them all like this. Oh, I see where I screwed this up. It's like something about this looks off slightly. You know, as somebody who almost never makes symmetrical forts, I'm doing this for you, chat. I'll have you know. I hope you appreciate the extra effort I'm giving you. And that's it. My brain is where I get my building ideas. Where else would I get them? Also, fuck this. Then I don't need to make doors. Are statue gardens everywhere a good idea or a way for tantrums to spiral out of control? If tantrums are spiraling out of controls, it's not the fault of you putting statues everywhere. And has nothing to do with you putting statues everywhere. If tantrums are spiraling out of control, there's deeper systemic issues in your fortress, my friend. All right. Chat, where do you normally get your building ideas? If it's anywhere other than your brain, I question your sanity. I'm gonna make another one of these so that we can make rock blocks a little quicker. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying not to draw too much attention to that bug because the developers haven't. I don't know how long it's gonna take to get fixed. It's a bit of a weird one because it's a really big raw rewrite. And I'll be honest, I was expecting a thing like this because I played this game long enough to expect stuff like that when they do big rewrites. That being said, yeah, I don't really know how to communicate stuff that they haven't communicated yet to an audience. So, I just want to keep the chat moving, that's all. The chat's very quiet right now. Extremely quiet on the YouTube side. Pretty quiet on the Twitch side, too. Your building ideas come from Blind's brain? Oh, well, that's good. Glad I'm a multi-purpose facilitator of idea. Tavern size finally grow a little bit. Pretty quiet. Maybe very quiet even, but good. Dadrick, how's thing on your end? Interesting. My PC is about 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. It's running at 54C today. Oh, sorry, not 54. 44C instead of 54C. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's just cooler in here in general. My computer is cooler than yesterday. Uneventful afternoon, not a bad thing. Well, that's good. It looks like they're getting ready to repave the road in front of my apartment building, which makes me happy, although there's still a hole. It's just further up the street now. Because there's cement trucks outside right now, which is nice, you know? Also, just as a reminder to everybody, if you have a hat next to your name, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back, because you're the reason I'm here. This channel wouldn't exist without people paying to keep it running. So thank you. If you have a hat next to your name and the ability to post beer. Thank your local hat person. Unless they happen to be at the 1 month where the hat disappears for a month. You like to inform everyone that Ettins can wear 2 helmets? Oh, did you use, what's it called? Make own or something to make this Ettin join you? Got prepared reindeer kidney roast. Very good meal in a very good dining room. Were you blissful after dining in a very good dining room? Grouchy after drinking the same old booze. Why is that goal not uploading? Is it for specific colors? I don't get it. Ah, well, anyway. Got any plans to revisit Rift Wizard? 0. No. I want to like Rift Wizard. I don't like Rift Wizard. I'm too dumb to play Rift Wizard. I don't often feel too dumb to play a video game. I feel too dumb to play Rift Wizard. So no, I don't really have any plans to return to Rift Wizard. Also, like, it's kind of hard to stream, and it was a struggle to keep people interested in it the few times I did try. I don't like games where I just have to follow a guide, or I feel like I have to follow a guide to do anything, and that's a game where I really feel like I have to follow a guide. So, Final over here is running around now, executing all of the reindeer, and has now increased his kill count to, well, a great horned owl, 4 reindeer, 1 yak cow, 1 horse, 1 elk, and 4 elk, and is up to a competent fighter level. I really hope he gets into a pretty even fight at some point so that he just, like, you know, what's the word? Trains up a bit, because this could be a fun dwarf to weaponize in the future. No, that is not what that is. Entropy. Come on, go duel with those 2. You know you wanna... Okay, fine. Instead, you're just gonna chase the non-zombified reindeer cow. And keep getting distracted as it gets away from you. And then in here, I'm going to go and place 1, 2, and 3, 4. Floor. That'll get me 2 more bedrooms. It's not Turbo Death snow. It's raining liquids into the snow that makes you die. Oh. Oh. And here I was hoping that Final would end up in a fight with these 2. I was hopeful for a moment there. Is it because his leg is, like, obliterated that he's having a hard time catching it? No, his knee... Okay, this zombie's got a bad knee. It's like his upper spine is... Oh, okay, there goes another one. At the very least, this guy is pretty consistent about just killing stuff as opposed to, like... trying to turn them. Maybe kind of an anti-hero character, if you will. Let's go down here and go bed. And bed. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go... Shell blocks. Shell blocks. Shell blocks. Chat, what's a game that you feel too stupid to play? Dwarf Fortress is a fair answer, by the way. Also, I do understand the irony of me going, no, that game is too intimidating, or like, that game makes me feel dumb as the guy who plays the intimidating game for crazy people. Like, I understand the irony there, but I did watch somebody playing Captain of Industry once, and I felt pretty dumb looking at it. Chess, you know, mood. That's a vibe. Baba is used also, yeah. Into the Breach makes me feel dumb, but I don't feel too dumb to play Into the Breach. I just often feel dumb when I look at the choices that I made, if that makes any sense. All right, well, we're going to have to follow Final, because Final may end up being a very interesting character in this fort. Speaking of Final, the runner over here also has some main character energy. Let's read their description. Also, name something is up if anybody would like to name something. Personally sees the competition as wasteful and silly and sees war as a useful means to an end. Also, I need to check this. Where are investments up? Might as well start those. There we go. Personally sees competition as wasteful and silly and sees war as a useful means to an end, and dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. Personally sees likes lignite, black bronze, vericite, and lynx bone, the color black. Shorts, black, because I see a red door and I want it painted black. Ducks for their quacks, and the words of the willful nails, on the sight of the cardinal blossom, and when possible first consume apple cider, and can't stand snails. What am I naming, Entropy? There are no swords dwarfs, but there is a dwarf with sword skills, and I have to find them. I want Dumad the blacksmith. He tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others and prefers that everyone lives as harmoniously as possible. He lives a fast-paced life and he likes to brawl. He is slow to trust others and he isn't particularly ambitious. He needs alcohol to get through the working day and is getting used to tragedy. He personally has a deep dislike of the natural world, sees life as unfair and doesn't mind it that way, and finds friendship burdensome, and dreams of mastering a skill. He likes nickel, jelly opal, and horay marmot leather, and cabochons, and the sight of the cardinal blossom, and when possible, he prefers to consume halibut, strawberry wine, and cottonseed oil, and finger millet flour, and absolutely hates moon snails. No Name 14, thanks for the brand new Prime sub and the first notification of money in an hour. Thanks for helping keep the channel funded. It's been a slow summer, so I appreciate you. Okay, also ads are about to start, so I will wait till the ads are done before I do anything. This dwarf has some friends in the fort already, very social dwarf. As well as is the owner of a pet chick, who I'm going to... Whoopsies. That wasn't intended. Who I'm going to give a corner of your bedroom to. I'm also going to assign these 2 bedrooms. One to this one, Stormwolf. One to that one. I'll have to do the same over here momentarily. Doesn't value it. Well, I find that a lot of people that have a lot of friends don't value it very much, which I think is kind of a very human response, I guess. You know, taking things for granted, I guess. Me too, Cernix. Me too. It's going very similarly to the last one on this in this world, actually, so far. It might not seem that way, but the last one we did in this world was very slow to get going. And this is seeming to be pretty similar. Let's also keep some more blocks. And we'll do 80, I guess. And I'm also going to do rock table and rock throne. I'm also going to do rock cabinet and rock coffer. And I'm going to make 2 of these down here. Maybe 3. So that they just clear this area out of stuff. Science did not work. Murdered the dwarf to death immediately. So we went back to the save. DF always crashes near the end of a season. Sounds like you should report that as a bug and send it to the developers so they can take a look. That seems bad. That's not supposed to happen. The other thing I should do is I need to grab a farmer shop. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Maybe just over here. A little hut or something. We'll work on that in a bit. As far as metal goes, if these 2 ever go away, there is this. This is probably my best bet for a lot of stuff. Or like there's a steel anvil amongst other things, but trading is probably actually my best bet. The traders came in from the north the first time, so I hope they always come in from the north, because then I will have a pretty easy way of getting them in. If I can get this like 3 layers down and into water, and then collect it out of the water, could maybe reclaim it, but were goblin sieges a thing on this map? I never got a big enough population for the goblins to even notice that I'm here, and I never was able to leave the map to attack the goblins. So were goblin sieges a thing on this map? No. I think we had some, like, snatchers arrive that immediately, like, got unexisted. I'd need to rewatch the video. But I may have cut stuff out. I can't remember. I'd need to actually skim my VODs. I don't remember any, like, memorable ones happening. I mean, they would just kill each other, like, immediately, right? While you're so far north is interesting? I mean... yeah. Okay, so now I've got a tiny itty bitty 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 little tavern over here. I'm thinking... I'm just going to let them run tasks for a little bit, tell stories, and do what they do. Dwarf is screaming at somebody in charge. I need an office, which I'm going to place right here. This is going to be for my expedition leader, and we'll also do another one over here. Oh, I see the difference here. The one on the left will be for the expedition leader. The one on the right will be for whoever I assign as manager, bookkeeper, etc. Moods do appear to be improving. My 2 most upset dwarves, Hylam was one of them for a while, and isn't very happy about the lack of meals, but food supply is improving, so that part's good. Was haunted by the dead, which was a big net negative, but, you know. You can leave for invasions underground, absolutely, via the caverns. However, you cannot receive... They will not come back from the underground. They will return on the surface, not underground. So they can leave underground, but they can't return underground. So invading stuff is basically a moot point. So, unless you just want to kill a dwarf, which maybe I'll do. We'll see. A caravan, Adil Gibar, as a like, wouldn't it be fun to train a dwarf up to like legendary wrestling and then send them out to invade something and just let them come back in via the surface? So, this half of the map isn't as crazy as the other half of the map at the moment. Wish us luck, chat. I need a round of beers for good, or round of whatever. I just post something that you think constitutes luck that good. Okay, so I need them to go this way. Right here, right here. So, I'm gonna open that. Because this is locked. So this is safe. And I am, while stuff is paused, I'm gonna set this as an office. Oopsies. For my expedition leader. I'm also gonna go to founder. Yes. Okay, so let's see where the diplomat is at the moment. Diplomat's in a much more psychotic location. Oh, also I should check this. Oh, shit. No, don't go there. Go here. This was how the Strangler happened the last time. Oh, wow, you've got a big family. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if, like, one of my dwarves from the previous fort was in this dwarf's family? Okay, hold on. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. So this dwarf just ran right past this. Like, 0 fucks given. Walk through the door. Forwards, through the door. Forwards, through the door. Forwards, door through. Forwards, through the... Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can... See if we can open... Okay, nope. Fine then. He left, so instead I will cancel. Northbound ho. Where are the merchants at? They are still moving. Because all the chaos appears to be over on the left-hand side of the map. This dwarf's lagging behind a whole bunch. Why is that? I mean, Final's all the way down here, standing over the last few reindeer he killed. Which is pretty far away. I don't know how long this dwarf has been here, but this bull just killed it. I actually kicked the dwarf in the upper body with a hoof, and the injured part collapsed. So, as far as I know, this is a completely unrelated dwarf to that migrant wave. Or not migrant wave, caravan. Because there's still, like, this dwarf down here who's just, you know, living here. So, let's keep to it. Post liaison. Does be almost there. Okay, stay there. It's like, must be like the local... Uh-oh. It's just a normal weasel. It's just a normal weasel. No weasel strangling going on here today. Mountain Titan's fighting. The worker is fighting. Somebody's fighting. Okay, let's close this. Where? Merchant. At. Okay, so they moving slowly. We'll follow them. Save the weasel? Why? So we can eat it? What purpose does it provide us? Oh! Look at that. That's how close they were to getting in. Thankfully, dwarves are not building destroyers. But this is one of the zombies. Have you killed anything yet? No. Did attack the weasel, though. Well, we didn't get a yak. This is a trading caravan, not a migrant wave. So we haven't gotten anything, actually. But what I have got are some mechanisms I can build. Some floor tiles I can build. And the ability for us to trade. Which is very exciting, shall I say. I'm also going to jump over to here, and I'm going to request a broker, and we're going to bring some reindeer amulets over, because that's all I have, as well as giant cave toad amulets and giant ombone amulets, and maybe also some totems. No. The weasel would make 1 or 2 lunches and maybe some leather. Do pets give mood buffs? Certainly, but they also give mood debuffs when they die. And the buffs aren't worth the debuffs. So I will not be catching it or asking for it as a pet. It's not worth it. If it ends up in one of my traps, I will take the opportunity to consume it, but that is all that I will do. Also, it appears that one of their mark dwarves actually killed this zombie eagle, which is pretty crazy. And is still on the surface. Oh my god, we've got a hero. Glorious granite here. Hey, chat room. 2 people have spoken the last 10 minutes in the Twitch chat. I realize it's a Wednesday, but the biggest favor you can do for me at this point is just help me keep that channel moving. Try and keep the, the discussions going. He's got 9 bismuth bronze bolts. Is his ammo. But I'm not going to be letting him out. I'm not going to be letting him in. If he dies, he dies. I mean, you can post a round of beers, but that's not really what I'm asking for. I'm asking for discussion. I'm asking for interaction. Spam is great, but not what I'm seeking out here. Aerith has died to an abominable smoke zombie elk, which was the dwarf that was standing down here. Meaning I've got 2 more now to memorialize. And all the dwarves are bringing these bone amulets to trade. Braids, knots, or dreads? I mean, I just tie my hair back. I don't really braid it because I don't feel like putting the effort in. I can. I've done it, but I don't really do it. I would never want dreads in my hair. And knots need to be brushed out. Coffins versus slabs. Different use cases. Can you access the body? Coffin. Can you not access the body? Slab. Because dwarves get negative thought if their family member's body decays, regardless of if they're memorialized. It's like different use cases. Is the Marksdorf at least competent? I mean, he killed an eagle, so I presume so. I mean, at least I think he killed it. Okay, he didn't kill an eagle. The other one killed the eagle, I guess, then. Zulban, did you kill the eagle? Nope, neither of them are credited with the killing the eagle. Well, there's a dead eagle that one of them killed somehow, and that's kind of impressive in its own right, so That's all I really got, I guess. No, because you cannot build up. If you build up, you have to build walls and floors before you can build a roof, and that would require you having touching the sky, which would insta-kill you. I could barely build a wall, like just a circular wall. Why are you taken by fright? Oh, you're reliving PTSD. Okay, well that's... It's really sad, because it's first, like, you can always rely on your family when everything else falls away. And, well, none of their family is here. And they did get haunted by the dead after arriving here. In fact, that was this year. Yeah, we're working on that. Hear me out, zombie dwarf threw the bolt and killed the eagle? Well, no, because the combat log read that a bolt hit it, and it was shot by a marks dwarf named Rigoth. I don't know why the dwarf doesn't have the kill registered, but why is this the worst map? Watch the first 10 minutes of that YouTube video that just got linked. Simply put, the surface is entirely uninhabitable, and without cheating, I have no idea how you would possibly inhabit it. So I'm not even going to try, because I did the last time I played this map a year ago. And you know what happened? 20 dwarves died! Not making that mistake again. I don't know if it was 20, but it was like close to a dozen, at least. More than half my population died. Diplomacy pending? Yeah, I guess I could deal with that. The founder meets with the outpost liaison. I'm your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. Why did you move here? This was a terrible idea. I'm just going to ask for iron. Bring me iron. That's all I asked for last time. So just bring me iron. They want yarn? Yarn? Amulets and prepared meals. With what yarn would I make said amulets? Sheesh. I got 159 dwarf bucks, so I can buy a iron bar. Do you think the caravan is going to survive leading the map? I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, I will let them out here. Right here. Because they can go from this side over to the here and then up to here. Or over from here, down to here, over to here, up to here, and then out here. And if they die, they die. That will be up to them at that point. Or, actually, no, they could leave through the caverns. I could just open this and let them leave through the caverns. But first, I would actually put some cage traps in here, just in case. Because they can walk over cage traps, they just can't... what's the word? Wagons can't go over cage traps. So yeah, I could just throw a cage trap right there, and in case there's some cavern creatures, they won't be a problem. In the stew, well, this fortress has had maybe 40 migrants at this point, and our population is 13 because most of them died upon entry, or become like unusable undead upon entry. Sergeant Donut, what up? More evil, good stacked biomes from my most viewed video. Yes, because summer has been long and full of terrors, and I need YouTube views. So what do studios do when they need views? Well, they make a sequel. What am I doing? Trying to make a sequel. Speaking of, migrants have arrived, so we're going to find out how this goes. As you can see, there's smears and spatterings of abominable smoke everywhere. That's a pool of abominable smoke. If you step in a pool of abominable smoke, which is at the bottom of the snow-covered fire clay, you immediately become one of these unliving dead nightmares. So I'm going to go right here and make a meeting zone right here and hope that they go right there. If they don't, well, sucks to be them. Okay. Just making sure. Actually, why don't I also put a meeting zone right here? And open this, get rid of this. And I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to be like, oi, moron, don't go there. Let's see, smear, 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 pile of snow, smear, smear. This should be safe. If they go... So let's see what happens. Sees a bunch of dead bodies. These were dwarves at one point. Come on, Dwarf, I need you to go down here. I really need you to go right there. Pretty... Okay. Wouldn't it be funny if the duck became evil? Nope, but the chick did. So, dwarves follow the pathing priority. Livestock don't. So I've got a dwarf and a duckling down here, and now I have to forbid this. I'm gonna go right here and make a meeting zone and see who else arrives. Okay, you did. And you managed to walk around the chick. You managed to walk around the chick. Uh-oh. Well, that's a problem. It's a bit of a problem. I should probably close that. Are you an abominable smoke zombie? No. Are you an abominable smoke zombie? Yes, you are. Are you? No, not yet. Okay, go, Dwarf, go down. Go to the... Don't fight with the chicken. You'll die. Hey, Spat. Don't... The chick? Well, redeem thing should be up, so redeem it if you want to rename the chick. None of them have turned yet. So now you are... Uh-oh, what are you doing? Why are you coming out? Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna call this... Nope. I'm going to make a burrow. Oh, that's the erase button. And call it... Ah! And it's gonna be... Cattle, Erdim, Servesh, and Logum. Yes. Cattle, Erdim, Servesh, Logum. This is a bit of a problem. This is actually one of the few that isn't a zombie yet. Oddly enough, but it does have webs. They're all just new arrivals. They're not zombies yet. Are they just punching it? Oh, please tell me they're just punching it. The weaponsmith punches the hill titan, but the attack lances away. And you're about to die, probably, weaponsmith, aren't you? The duck's out. Obok's also in the crew now. The chick is... it just needs to, if it breaks skin, it'll infect whatever. That is it. That is a zombie at this exact moment. This is a zombie, though. Olin is not a zombie just yet. Logan was found dead. That's a child. Tried to get the child in, but the child is now a zombie. Erdim up here is not a zombie just yet. This is another child. It's another child. Oh, this is going to be rough. Because this creature is not yet a smoke zombie. This is just a hill titan. Which, you know, is doing pretty good work. But I'm not going to open the fort, because I don't want to let it in. But unless they get down into here, which I should have just left that dwarf locked. So many children in that wave. Yeah, this is gonna be fun to memorialize. Also, I can't close this alert until all these are memorialized. Shaken to the core, hey? Can't grasp, can't stand. His foot is gone. The thing... Okay, this one is now... Survesh is now a smoke zombie. You're a smoke zombie. All of these children are now smoke zombies. Well... I mean, you can still clip it. Oh my god. What a goddamn hero, kiddo. Which one of them got it? Please. Oh, that's wonderful. Hold on. How did you do it? Please tell me. I need to know. The duckling abominable smoke zombie chicks, or no, is fighting with a child. Bites the hill titan in the head and the injured part is torn apart. Chat, a duckling killed it. Yeah, I saw. I was waiting for this to end. DS. So, Darkwing Duck can be very single-minded and tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects. Does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity and quacks when conflicted by this. He values artwork and quacks at its creation. He quacks and is slow to anger and quacks when he's angry and doesn't handle stress well, quack, and is very ambitious. Quack. I'm gonna lock this door. So they're all dead. And currently he's fighting with a zombie child. But flying, so he has a very big advantage here. Everybody in that migrant wave died. People I think they mostly would have survived if that Titan hadn't been literally right there. But, you know, not much I can really do. Quack. That is fantastic. Please tell me somebody. Can you please clip that? If nobody clipped that, I will be slightly sadder than I normally am for a couple of minutes. Over here, how's trading doing? Okay, we're waiting for broker to get back. Oh, wait, hold on, actually. Oh. I'm wondering if that other Mark's Dwarf left the map. I think it's possible that they did. Let's just make some more slabs. Okay, so there's a zombie child over here. And there's another one down here. This needs to be finished and locked. Like stat. That's good still. Just checking all these. Let's actually open this. And follow these dwarfs. We successfully got migrants, and then an entire migrant wave just died. Mm-hmm. Quite literally. In Ithaca. And also a duckling zombie killed a titan. Who is very opposed to life. And you know, honestly, that just seems like a normal duck. It killed it. Oh, and a rooster, actually. It killed a titan and a rooster. Which I think was a chick down there. The duckling killed the rooster by biting it in the lower body, and it tore the injured part apart. It's one hell of a mighty duck. Yes. It is, in fact, some cartoon shit. What's a poodleizer? Just missed it. Dang it. Oh, well. Could go back through the VOD, but that's work. Well, we were up to 19 dwarves very briefly. I guess that's the good news. I suppose that's the good news. My broker is sleeping, so we'll follow him. Does it have combat skills? Livestock can't train. Wild animals can't train. They have to be an intelligent creature to be able to train. So some angels can, some demons can, some forgotten beasts can, or some titans can, rather. I don't think any forgotten beasts can. Like a giant can, stuff like that. We need a statue for the duck. Yeah, I was going to make one out of metal, but yeah, that's kind of a waste. Let's just make one. Material doesn't matter. Dark wing. Oh. Duck. Duck ponders. Hold on. What's the name of that duck? Like the actual name, so I can search it easier. Solon Kira. Solon Kira! Merge bolt. Is a drake. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh. Also, peasant has been missing for a week. They died so suddenly, or maybe they were just the last one to die, so nobody found the body. Which is actually kind of grim. From the bones of its kills, we can't get the things that it's killed, mate. That would end the fortress. You can't make bone statues. I could decorate it potentially with bones. And this is why we play DF. Is this really why we play DF? I don't know. I don't know if that's why I play DF. Maybe that's why you play DF. I think actually I'm just gonna... No! I didn't get to trade anymore. Well, that's sad. Took too long. I need to make a more direct route. Alrighty, out to Pustlesen. Let's go to the caverns, because you're just climbing around in my bedrooms all lost. And zoom out, so I can remember where my exit is, and then go up here, and then grab... Yeah, fuck it. We'll just let you out. There's a cave swallow in the fort. So now you should be able to leave while this giant cave swallow flaps around. And you can now leave out the map. Migrants should be able to, or not migrants, merchants should be able to do the same thing once they're done cleaning up, which they're still cleaning up. No, because the ground turns you into dead, right? You touch the ground, you're dead. That's the thing, is like, the duckling was already dead up there. So no, it is not 100% safe. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But trust me, it's not safe. Nothing about this map is safe. Absolutely nothing. If you go to the surface in that area, you cease to have personhood. That duckling didn't kill it while it was still a duckling. That duckling killed it because it's an abominable smoke zombie, which is what happens when you go to the surface of this map, more or less. And, sure, yeah, it makes you inexhaustible and, opposed to life and kill everything that has the ability to consume oxygen. But it also isn't something that allows you to continue playing the video game. Details. I mean, okay. They're details that I'm going to concern myself with, my friend. Is the evil biome in any part reanimating? No. No, it is just the rain. Because evil biomes are like, have they the possibility to have multiple different features? And this one just has the spontaneous evil rain. And the reason it's rough, the spontaneous evil rain, is because it's like, how do I word this? The reason it's rough is because evil rain, you're supposed to have like a notice that it's happening. It's not supposed to be spontaneous. But in this map, it's spontaneous. I'm going to try and speed up trading in the future. Also, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, back to labor, and set workers back to only selected do this. And remove the founder from this list. I'm also going to clear all of the dwarves with clearable construction carrying jobs so that hopefully I'll let them go do something that's more useful at the moment. They can go back to doing their old task, but I mostly just don't want them filling up stockpiles at the moment. I go up to here. This is not all full, so I can go over to planters, and I can assign 2 more planters. And we can go back to constructing buildings, as we damn well should be. You have access to hell. No. When did I say that? I never said that we have access to hell in this fort. This fort is a replay of the worst biome I've ever found in Dwarf Fortress, which was a fortress that I discovered, which is a map I discovered a year ago. If you would like all the details of this map, watch the first 10 minutes of the video that's linked when you type in !goal into the Twitch chat. Simply put, it's a calm, good biome stacked on top of a evil, terrifying biome that turns you instantly into an unlifed husk. Is this the exact same fortress as last time? No. It is north of that fortress. Sorry, I've been answering the same question a lot, so if I seem like I'm running on automatic, that's why. But it's just north. It's not a new fortress in the same location. It's not a reclaim of the same location. It is a another fortress on the same map, just north of that one, with the same effects, basically. Yeah, this is a live-action remake for an 80s animated film. That's what this is. Hello, Necrokind in YouTube chat. What's up? You had a Forgotten Beast made of fire melt all the snow. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. I really like Forgotten Beasts made of fire falling into a lake. I tried to do that in the last one, and it didn't work. They didn't actually go to the surface. I kind of cut the video early at the end of the last one. Sorry for spoilers. But that's because I wasn't able to get them to path to the surface. So if I try a little bit harder, maybe I can make that work this time. But beast dies or lake evaporates. If they're made of fire and they jump into a lake, it becomes like a tornado of steam around them. So everything instantly evaporates down to 0 around them within like a 2-tile radius usually. It's pretty cool to watch, actually. It's kind of a neat effect. That's not what I wanted. And now I gotta go down to here. I gotta go over to here. And I gotta go whoomp, whoomp. No slabs engraved. 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 No, 2 slabs engraved. Well, no slabs engraved. No, not really. I mean, it doesn't affect my frame rate in the slightest. Steam doesn't block pathing like smoke does, though. So, if they're an instant frame rate killer for you, that's not something I've ever experienced. Which kind of sucks if that's the case for you. Okay, so the migrants have completely left the map. Oh, final. Please go kill. Please go kill that Titan. Nailed it, Necrokind. This is just north of Godly Tombs. Okay. Well, what are most dwarves up to at the moment? Constructing buildings, memorializing, linking. Okay, let's follow you. Wooden shields can block dragonfire. Doesn't matter the material. Any shield can block dragonfire. A leather shield can block dragonfire. Although I did once see a dwarf that blocked dragonfire several times with their shield, and then the water or the alcohol in their flask evaporated, and they combusted because of heat, from what I could tell. Like, just heat surrounding them. So, you know. Just because you can block it doesn't mean you're not going to die. There's more of the water coming in from all sides. Sure, yeah, no, I mean, if, like, your dwarves start to try to path into the water, I could see that messing the frame rate up, actually. I mean, that's a good thing, Cyrolac. I mean, I want them to meet pretty badly, because I think that would be... I completely misread that as somebody else was fighting, but... Wait, what are you fighting? Hold on. We've got a second infinite fight happening. We've got Landlar, the Inen, the Smoke Titan, down here, which has killed 5 reindeer and a porcupine, apparently. It was also strangling. This one is strangling it, tearing apart the hair. That is another combat log. We've got 2. And they're at not opposite ends of the map, but the other one is, whoops, right here. Doing the same thing. Technically it's day 2, but we're still in very early days, so. Although, for reference, the last time I played on this map, I got to a population of 32, I think. Was the highest the population ever got. Telenartho, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Hello, friends. How are we? Thank you very much for tuning in. How was Strim? What were you up to? Mods, can I get a shout out for Telenartho if possible? I hope things was, are, and is still good. Yeah, we'll just do a little siltstone table. A little siltstone chair. And this little office. Be for this dwarf. And I will put another office over here. And again, I will put a table and a chair in it. And let's put a statue up here, a shell statue of that duck. And this one can be for my broker. Oh. Oh, I see what I did. It's like, what? Why do you not have an office now? It's because I made them both into the same office, one big one and not two small ones. This one over here can also be an office. Separate office, of course. And once this is separate office, this can be assigned to you, and you can be assigned to my manager. Tapioca's a record keeper. All right, well, we'll have a third office. I can do that. So Tapioca's now my bookkeeper. Hylam is my broker, and my manager's my expedition leader. I'm doing everything in my power and ability. The ball is kind of in their court. I've dug to the places. I'm slowly digging to the locations that they have been entering the map and trying to make tunnels in. I'm doing my best. There's only so much I can do. Like, we had multiple migrant waves arrive right here. If they just walk into here and stand there and then walk down here, I can let them into the fort safely. But only if they walk in. That is up to them. I can't make them do that. So it's very much a... Any ideas? Well, I'm kind of doing everything that I can at the moment. And if they don't want to have any sense of self-preservation, that's Dwarf Fortress for you! And I've also got one down here in the bottom left, which is almost ready to go, but as you can see, is currently surrounded by murder zombies, which is a bunch arrived over here, and they, you know, became murder zombies down here. This one I haven't dug out yet at all, but the top side is pretty much as good as it's gonna get. We also have one in the middle. There really isn't anything else I can do. I can try and cage trap the existing zombies, which I will try and do. Because cage traps that exist when they arrive on the map won't capture them, but new ones that I make will. So I will try and cage trap them as best I can. But I also, up until maybe earlier this year in game, I only had 6 dwarves, which, believe it or not, doesn't let you get much done. Digging takes a while. This is a 7x7 map as well. So it's a slow construction process. And I don't have much ability to contort the game any more than I already do without cheating. You could stop the infinite logs by sending a new zombie in. That wouldn't necessarily stop the infinite logs. That might actually just add another infinite log. But I don't really care about the infinite logs. They don't really bother me. They just make it less clear when stuff gets canceled. Also, chat room. We are currently $75 away from my daily minimum, which means if I hit it, I hit minimum wage for where I live if I stream for 8 hours. Don't forget, if you happen to have a Prime sub, do think about me. Should have been Looney Tunes. I mean, you can refer to it as that. It's pretty good, actually. The duckling is pretty Looney Tunes, after all. This right here... Shap9, thanks for the 5th month. Welcome back, dude. Thanks for the Bezos bucks. Appreciate you. Tapioca now has an office. And I can smooth all of these. Because might as well. This could be the Engravers Guild, actually. Although maybe not. Maybe I should just put an Engravers Guild up here. Or even better, maybe just down here. Like if I were to do that, I would go from there over to there. Let's actually dig it out to there. Just in case I need another office in the future. Thank you. I will have to totally ruin this symmetry that this fort has going sooner than later, but... for now, it works. Just realized most of the streamers I like to watch are into Magic the Gathering, so even though you don't watch any of them for Magic the Gathering. I'm not into Magic the Gathering. That's a personal opinion, really, Sheepherder. I mean, I'm sitting at a flat 60 frames per second, and I could crank it up to 200 because there's only 13 dwarves. Frame rate being tolerable depends on you. I am fine with a FPS of 20. But I won't play a fortress with an FPS of 20 for very long because they move slow enough that Jack gets bored. I don't comment on frame rate anymore because I have a computer that runs this game extremely well. Like, I've had fortresses that are 6x6 and 8x8 even, with like 200 dwarves that run at 60 frames a second. It's not a catch-all, like, yes or no answer. It, one, depends on what you are willing to tolerate frame rate-wise, and two, depends on whether or not you, yourself, have a good enough computer to run the game at a frame rate what you consider to be tolerable. This is all off by one. That's funny. And I can see why. All right, there we go. Sorted. You're not going to get a straight answer out of me because I have no freaking clue. It adds about 4 frames a second to me in a really laggy fort with a lot of population, Borgond. But your mileage may vary. I've learned that Dwarf Fortress is just... Okay, so I used to make a lot of videos about frame rate because people watched them, and I felt that I had some genuine ideas on how to make frame rate better. But as more and more and more and more people have played this game, I've learned a very real lesson, and that is don't fucking talk about frame rate because everybody's computer setup is slightly different. And because everybody's setup is slightly different, my experience is likely completely irrelevant to your experience. What makes my game run better and what my computer can run is likely completely different than what yours can. So me commenting on like what is playable, what isn't playable, what improves my frame rate, what doesn't improve my frame rate is almost entirely a moot point because your mileage may vary depending on your system. Period. And I've given up. It's one of those things that I've given up on. That's it. Like, Dwarf Fortress is multi-threaded. Don't ask me about what could make Dwarf Fortress frame rate better, because I don't know. Don't ask me how you, or how I can, or how well a fort runs for me, because it might run completely different for you. That's certainly something I've learned. And I realize it's kind of an anti-fun way of doing things, but like, I genuinely have no idea how to improve your frame rate. The only person that you can talk to about frame rate are maybe people who like work on DF Hack or Putnam or Tarn, but Tarn's busy, so leave Tarn alone. Yeah, but Putnam does a lot more of the community side, grabbing bug reports and cataloging them and trying to sort them than Tarn does. It's more Putnam's job. Also, I think Putnam enjoys it more than Tarn does. By the time you entered hell. Yeah, and also that can be very, very like tied to how good your computer is, right, Romanoid? or even like your core clock speed. So like somebody could say like, oh, this makes my frame rate go to 0. And I'll be like, but that I've never had a frame rate problem in doing that exact same thing at twice the scale. And it could be completely unrelated. So like the one thing that I can say, because I've had it hammered into my brain by Putnam, is that no multi-threading everything in Dwarf Fortress won't make the game run better. In some cases, it may actually make it run worse because of how the game is built. The only thing that'll make the game run better are behind-the-scenes code optimizations that sometimes may involve multi-threading, but that's not gonna just make the game run better. The biggest frame rate improvement this game ever had wasn't multi-threading. It was the game moving to SDL2 instead of SDL1, and moving the rendering of the graphics to the graphics card instead of the CPU. And the reason that was so huge, well, to give you an idea on how big that actually was, it made my frame rate increase by 100% or more in some cases. So you know, it is very much a, if your frame rate's suddenly at 0, I might be able to help you figure out what it is if it wasn't at 0 before suddenly going to 0. Otherwise, I don't think I'm ever going to be much help going forward. Oh my gosh, what's this? Drakensoul, thanks for the 24th month. Welcome back, dude. The Stoat Jill is fighting. What are you fighting with? So we've got a Stoat versus a reindeer. Also a save. Yeah, also, this is the other fun thing, is people, when the frame rate gets better, people will have bigger fortresses, and more complicated fortresses, and more ambitious fortresses. And they'll get the frame rate back down to where it was before and ask for the frame rate to be better. Like, I've had people in my chat unironically asking for frame rate tips, and then I'm like, wait, how many dwarves do you have? And they're like, oh, 350. I'm trying to get 600. And it's like, 4 years ago, I never would have imagined having more than 150 dwarves. So, you know, just because of frame rate problem. I mean, the classic one was like, and this is old, this is long fixed, was frame rate suddenly goes to 0. Reason? Cat decided they wanted to get through a locked door. Literally, that was 9 out of 10 times the cause. Was some cat decided it wanted out of a door. Now, where's the duckling? Still lives over here, hey? Watch this duckling kill an entire migrant wave in the future. It's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen. He's plotting it. He's already planning it, even. What about final? Well, I'm still just a competent fighter. Got some ways to go. Yeah, one of the, I had my frame rate go to 0 once because I had a dwarf that was mining in the caverns. And a tree decided to grow to full size behind him. He was just like mining through an ore vein in the caverns, like digging out iron, I think. And then a tree grew behind him. That's not spider silk. That's Titan silk. And no, we're never going to be harvesting that. Because it's all covered in murder goo. And any dwarf that goes into it will immediately become a murder goo zombie. See? Pool of abominable smoke. So no, this is unobtainium. And also should actually be forbidden. We're in an ad break, so I will wait. Vid13, thanks for the 5th month. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Thanks for helping keep the channel funded. I don't know. Mass? I do not know. Also, to budge into a conversation happening in YouTube, bins are good. Bins are really good. Ignore the old bugs. Most of them are non-concern. Bins are really good. And if you're concerned with getting stuff out of them, make them out of copper or some other cheap metal, and then melt them down if you want the stuff out of it quickly. Bins are good. Is this fort directed by James Cameron? Yes. Didn't they literally name like the material in Avatar unobtainium? Like that's where that reference here is coming from, right? Yep, they did. Okay. Also, this is the statue of our duckling. It's a statue of Solon. The item is a well-designed image of Solon, the drake, by Agamemnon. It's just an image of the duck. But we have a statue of that duck. For the reference, that duckling, for anybody who missed it, killed a titan! This titan! This duckling killed this titan. It pecked it to death and its head exploded. And a chick. Well, the chick is much less impressive, okay? That would be like a puppy killing a cat. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's just sad. Oh, also, I should just go down into here real quick. And just go cabinet. Cabinet, 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 cabinet. Let's also go up to here. Go shale. Slowly increase the value of these bedrooms. Also, we should just, like, make a loom in here and just let the dwarves make clothing, like, maybe even down here. Like, let's just fucking go here and just go loom. Because I've just got so much silk. If I just make one of these, we'll have enough clothing. Because there's just spiders everywhere in this fort. What shenanigans have been had? A duck killed a titan. A duckling killed a titan. We managed to get some migrants, and then a whole migrant wave died shortly after. Slow progress. I saw a spider earlier today, and I put it on my tomatoes outside. It was a baby wolf spider. Which, typical wolf spider, it was in my bathroom. They're almost always in bathtubs. Long time. It's good to see you. You've had a week, 14-hour drive. Oh, that's why I haven't seen you all week. On Thursday, and then another 4 on Friday. You saw Weird Al? Then 4 hours back Saturday, then 14 back down Sunday. Then yesterday, you had to do inventory, which finished at 7:45, so you're up for a bit, over 24 hours, just woke up. Morning! Jesus H. Christ. How is Weird Al? Uh-oh. Rigoth, the abominable zombie, has been struck down. By whomst? Died to a reindeer cow zombie. No, the duck hasn't moved. You've been to 2 Weird Al concerts, always fun? I feel like it would just be a sing-along. Sing-along? Sing-along. You know, I feel like out of all of the pop singers of the last 50 years, Weird Al's probably got like 18 vocal coaches and a vocal masseuse. Carb Apple. You want a Dwarf. Which one? Please pick. One that isn't already named, obviously. So you've got Thotek, Bomrek, Aiden, Deduk, Adam. Oh, no, Adam's already named. Or Obak. Music, I presume. Platonic Cave Dweller. Yeah, I would presume it's kind of a mix of all things, if I had to bet. But yeah, Carb Apple, just let us know what you would like. Just let us know what you would like. Specific songs? The ones that haven't been canceled yet. Probably. I realize these are like non-answers. I actually don't know that many Weird Al songs. I really like Hardware Store. That's like the one song I quite enjoy by Weird Al. Every other Weird Al song has just been played to death in my brain, so I just, you know, I'm kind of just good on most of them. Chat, what dwarf does a name like Crab Apple suit here? I'm thinking like, I feel like Crab Apple would either be like the slightly more annoyed miner, or maybe like the mechanic. You'll take the more angry miner? All right, we'll go with that. The more angry miner it be. Dent Shot. He is completely helpless in stressful situations. He is oh well, you're not going to do well. He is completely caught up in internal deliberation when action is necessary. He tends to consider what others think of him. He likes to keep things practical without delving too deeply into the abstract, and he is open to changing his mind. He often feels lustful, needs alcohol to get through the working day, and dreams of raising a family. And personally, disregards tradition, respects the law, doesn't see no value in holding back no complaints, and finds the pursuit of skill mastery off-putting. Dreams of raising a family. He likes gypsum plaster and platinum, as well as black zircon. The color green, spears, bracelets, and menacing spikes. Large rats for their strength, melon vines for their fruit, and the sound of the carmine musics. And the sight of the cardinal blossom. And when possible, obviously, he prefers to consume giant sparrow and soft wheat beer. Probably me too. I feel like soft wheat beer would be nice. And he hates moon snails. Yeah, it's quite the family, too. Quite the family. Dwarf was upset after not seeing their family, but they seem to be doing a little bit better now, actually. They've gotten less upset than they were before. They were one moodlet worse. But ever since improving mining and yelling at people in charge and drinking the same old booze, which upset him, and crying on somebody in charge and intimidating somebody while crying on them while in charge, and relieving the constant PTSD of being haunted by the dead, I think Krabby is doing okay. Yep, that very much sounds like something he would play. I would just post the set list. I mean, that's one way to do it. Today's been a good day for music talk, though. I mean, I was able to indoctrinate more people into Satan's butt cheeks, so, you know, it's always a good day. Always a success. That's going to be my Engravers Guild, or the expanded version of it. I'm also going to go up to here, and we're going to go bed. See how many more beds we need. Sure, it's tons, but... one, oddly enough. Deduk is the only dwarf without a bed. Now you have bed. Let's also go here and just make bed. They really are, like unironically super good. Like, better than they have any right to be, I suppose. Usually only ever assign one engraver. I never do that. And the reason if I only assign a couple engravers, it's a couple engravers. And that's because certain tasks take 1 trillion years if you only have one engraver. This is Rigoth. Oopsies. Slab's been engraved. My God. Okay, that's sealed up. Need more rock mechanisms. I think I might dig down to the lava sea, because it's only like 20 layers down. So that'll be super easy to do. No, this fort I started off with a couple engravers. And this is the copper steel, which is a terrible name. Let's call it the rock. The climactic rock. The rock image? Ah! The rock image, which is my Engravers Guild. That's a pretty good name, methinks. And the Rock Raiders, I was saying to Lego Guildmate. And it's set to citizens only, so anybody in the fort can go train in here and make engravings better. There actually is a modded one that's coming along. I want there to be more modded tile sets, or like third-party tile sets is maybe the better way to refer to it these days. Purely because third-party tile sets mean people who play the free version have more options. There is one called Dwarf, which is currently on the Steam Workshop, which I want to see developed to a completed state, because that would be really cool if they could get there. There is an open source Rock Raiders that is like wildly well developed for what it is. Like it's one of those, why did they put so much effort into this? I mean, it's impressive, but like, why?